There's a cartoon I've been holding on to for months that we made of Robin's ayahuasca. So funny. It's so great. Tim, I know that we have that, but why don't we put that on Howard TV? It's the funniest fucking thing ever. I'll talk to him about it later.
Yeah, you're yelling. It sounds like you're yelling to the air.
Yeah, I was getting annoyed with him. I'm like, well, why are you sitting with this thing? Let's get it to the audience.
First of all, I went to a retreat in the Sacred Valley.
Is that Peru?
Yeah, and like I said, sleeping on a mattress on the floor.
What are you searching for? What's going on with you anyway? Really?
Well, I told you I had been suffering with some depression lately.
Right, and you thought ayahuasca might be your answer? And you go there and you're like, hello, master. Do you get right away, do you start calling him master?
First, they had me meet a guy who wore a funny hat. And then they say, you know, we have a shaman here who wants to read coca leaves for you.
Oh, God, Robin, what are you doing? What are you doing? He takes a bunch of leaves and throws them up in the air, and, and he goes, oh.
You see how that one turned over? The coca leaves tells me I'm healthy, I'm going to have a long life, and whatever.
Yeah. He knows. You're insane. You flipped your lid.
Okay, now it's time for your ayahuasca ceremony.
Oh, big deal.
And you walk into this room. There are mats.
Are you braless?
No, you have to wear a lot of clothes.
You wear a lot of clothes.
The master is sitting here, and he says, sit across from me, and he throws out some coca leaves and reads the coca leaves. And then he starts talking about la medicina. Now it's time for you to take la medicina.
And look at the master's fingernails. Like he's got these big, long, gross fingernails. And he's in his underwear. Yeah.
And he starts laughing, goes, oh, this is going to be good. And he pours half a cup of this stuff for me. He goes, that's your dose as a first-timer, half a cup. It is the worst tasting stuff you could ever imagine. So as soon as you taste it, you don't want to do anything more. And he's like, no, drink it up, drink it up, drink it up. So I gulp it down. Oh. And then they sit and watch you. 10 minutes later, I'm as sick as a dog. Oh. And I start throwing up.
Oh, my God.
So
are you insane?
Violently.
You're nuts.
That I'm also farting.
Nuts. Yeah.
So now, I'm embarrassed as anything. And I'm like, maybe I'm retching so loud they can't hear me farting.
Right.
Because it is just like, yes, it sounds like you just can't stop. It just keeps going and going and going.
This is good. Yeah. And what happens to you?
And, you know, somebody's there massaging my shoulders going, it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay. And then, when you finally get all of this stuff out of you, you lay back down on this mat, and you start to have visions.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Master's lighting matches because he's going to throw up from your farting.
Then I started to see all of the misery of the world.
Oh, wow.
And Howard, I cried probably for about 4 hours non-stop.
Oh, my God.
I mean, weeping. And eventually you're seeing the pain of the entire world. And I'm just weeping.
And what's Master doing during this?
Sleeping. Yeah. I can hear him snore. Like, oh my God. He's snoring.
Yeah. Am I talking to a new Robin? Because were you renewed after everything else you've done too? Is this a real new you?
Sometimes you need a refresher course.
Is this new? Are you the new Robin?
I am very, very pleasantly surprised that I came home feeling great.
I remember going to baseball games a couple of times with my dad when I was a kid. I remember how scared I was because there were certain guys drinking beer. And I remember, my dad wasn't a drinker of alcohol. And, I mean, rarely, he'd have maybe one drink. My mom would make him a Rob Roy. And that was such a disgusting drink.
I don't even know what that is.
I just was so turned off because my mother spent all day trying to get it right for him. And I was like, oh, this is ridiculous. Like, it's...
Agonizing over the Rob Roy.
Oh, and then he would walk in at night, and then he'd take a sip, and he'd go, yes, this is a good one. Like, I was so nervous for her. I saw how much work she put into the Rob Roy, and I was like, oh, this poor woman. Like, sometimes he'd come home and say, it's not that good. And it was like, you could just see the look of pain on her face that the Rob Roy wasn't right. And I was like, what? Fuck this Rob Roy.
Yeah, isn't there more to life?
Yeah, I don't know. There's some sort of chip in me that didn't get formed to be a guy. Like, guys walk in and expect their woman to make a Rob Roy, like my dad, and he was like, but I was empathizing with the woman, like, oh, the poor woman, because I sat at home with my mother all day and listened to her sad stories. So everything seems sad to me and pathetic. My mom would complain that Johnny Carson was a dick because he would pass judgment on comedians. But at the same point, my dad would come home and pass judgment on his Rob Roy.
On a Rob Roy.
So what was she saying?
Well, she knew how hard it was.
Oh, my God. And she labored over this thing. 2 parts vermouth, 1 part of scotch, or whatever. Who the fuck even knows what's in that poison?
And the only person who held her fate in her hand was her husband.
Alexa
It wasn't
Hente.
like she got national applause for the Rob Roy.
No, Alexa Hente, the demanding one, came in. And rightly so. I mean, my dad had put in a long... My dad didn't get home till 7 o'clock at night because we lived in Roosevelt, and Roosevelt's like 2 hours commute from the city. But I think my dad was too cheap to move closer to the city. You know what I mean?
Is Rockville Center any closer? Because when he moved, he didn't move any closer.
No, but he'd tell us his war stories. First I drive to Queens, then we get on the train. I read the paper on the train. It takes for 2 hours. I left out, He'd leave work at 5 and get home at 7. And I felt so bad for him, and he was miserable when he came in the door, and Rob Roy, and then he'd pass judgment on it, and then he'd eat, and then he'd run upstairs to take a shit in the whole fucking house. But, because we lived in a tiny house.
And you had like one bathroom or something?
Well, yeah, I mean, they had a little bathroom. Wasn't for me. Why me? And I couldn't go outside even because all my friends moved away and there were only black people who hated me outside the door. So I stayed home.
I was just thinking the other day, we were all raised like veal.
Yeah. Then I stayed
locked
home.
in a house.
Yeah, then I stayed home. You too, huh? Then I stayed home with my mom and watched her make that Rob Roy and listened to her talk about our horrible life. I mean, it was so sad.
Maybe that's why you never got that male gene.
What is your problem? You have no problems. My sister and my mother died when we were 9. And then, I mean, it really was a horror story, and I'd be like, oh, I guess I have no...
you had your own Holocaust.
Yeah. Oh, Grandma Rose lost her entire family in the Holocaust. I mean, there wasn't one survivor. And she only lived because someone took her in and hit her. What?
Here, I want to give you this. This is the way you make a Rob Roy. I mean, your dad couldn't have a vodka and tonic? This is hard.
Oh, it was a whole... You don't even know, Gary. It was a whole situation. Yeah, 2 ounces blended Scotch whiskey, 3/4 ounce Italian vermouth, 1 dash Agostoro bitters, whatever that is.
Well, like, would you have to do that?
Agostoro, but yeah. Shake whiskey, vermouth, and bitters well with cracked ice, then strain into a... watch my mom do this every day. And strain into a chilled cocktail glass and garnish as you would a Manhattan with a twist of lemon or if you must, a cherry. And then I remember when she was done, it was with him, it was a lemon. She would do the lemon peels perfectly, and then she'd cover it, because she'd make it earlier in the day, she'd cover it with a piece of plastic so that it would hold its... I don't know what it was holding.
Did she put it in the fridge?
Yeah, to chill it.
So, it chilled.
Oh, my God. And I was just like, this is crazy.
So she was really trying to make your house like the 1950s TV show.
My mom worked really hard. I mean, like, she cooked a full dinner every day. And like, but I mean, like, went shopping all morning and then cooked. And I mean, she put so much effort into it.
But she was really trying to be June Cleaver.
Yeah, and I always felt bad because...
the TV crew.
My dad would eat after. We wouldn't wait for my dad because he came home at 7. I wanted to eat my dinner at 4 o'clock.
You still did.
Yeah, I did. My mom would go, "We're waiting for your father. Don't eat now." I said, "Mom, I'm hungry. I want to eat." "All right, you can eat. I'm going to wait for your father." Then 2 seconds later, she'd be watching me. Then she'd sit down and have dinner with me. So my father would come home. He's probably aggravated. None of us ate with him. And
You think?
he would gobble up this meal that took her hours to make, and then go shit it out.
Ugh.
And then while he was eating, wasn't even enjoying the food because he was busy yelling at me the whole time. Because he'd have a rough day with his partners and stuff, and he'd be like at the table, and he'd go, "And then my partner said," and I'd ask a question, and he'd go, "Shut up! Shut up and learn to listen. If you listen to what your mother and I are saying, you would learn to listen." All right, I'll shut up. I just wanted to have some interaction with you. I mean, you ask stupid questions.
I want you to like me.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him. You don't understand. I'm excited about what you do. My dad had a recording studio.
Yeah.
I would say he had this thing, Ping Pong Records. I was really excited. It was a little record company they set up within the recording studio. My partner. Which partner from Ping Pong? Ping Pong! Why do you even know that name? I hate Ping Pong. He hated Ping Pong because he knew it was a waste of time and they weren't going to make any money with it. And his one partner...
Well, especially with that attitude.
Oh, my God. He was like, "Ping Pong! Why do you say Ping Pong?" I gave him a Father's Day card, and on the back I wrote Ping Pong Productions. He went berserk on me.
Oh, no.
"Ping Pong! That's a schmucky thing to write. That's so stupid. What is with doing ping pong?" I don't know. I was just trying to get in your world a little. I was excited. Huh? Shut up! Shut up! Oh, I'll go outside and get beaten by black people, which you don't seem to care about. Motherfucker. If someone put me in a time machine, put me back there, I'd kill myself. I swear to you.
Oh, stop. And you'd miss all this.
I don't care. I couldn't go back. Shut up! Sit down! My mom with those Rob Roys and the Holocaust and everything was so sad. I walk around sad. I wake up in the morning sad. Everything is sad to me. And danger looming. I'm a fucking nightmare. Tommy from Malden. Everyone knows Tommy. Go ahead, Tommy. You're on the air.
Hey now.
Hey now.
I'm coming, Howard. Hey now.
Take your time.
Hey now.
JD called into Pharrell's show. I'm going to miss Pharrell. I didn't listen a lot, but he really knew his sports, and I love sports, but he will be missed.
When did JD call into Pharrell? A lot?
Friday night. No, I saw it on Twitter that Homer Bailey of the Cincinnati Reds, that's JD's team, and you should congratulate him because they're going to the playoffs.
Right.
He pitched a no-hitter on Friday night, and he said he was going to call into Pharrell, so I turned it on. And he was as inarticulate as he is on your show.
Was he bad? Why don't we have clips of that? JD calling into Pharrell. What a nice send-off for Pharrell to play that tribute.
Yeah. Pharrell was busting his balls the whole time because he's a Pittsburgh Pirates fan.
Right.
And he was just busting his balls about the Reds.
I don't know. I think JD's been living in New York long enough. He could, get over the whole Reds thing and become a New York fan. I don't like... I know a lot of guys like that.
But they do. I mean, this is the era when you don't have to live in the community of your team.
Yeah.
That's why they have all these national games. The Dallas Cowboys have support all over the country, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Lots of people live in places that they don't pick up the local
You grew up
team.
in Cincinnati, and, it was the worst time of your life.
No, it was not
Besides
the
from
worst
a
time of my
fourth-grade spelling
life.
bee. You never got laid. No one was nice to you.
Get out of here. You stop.
But maybe the Reds or somebody gave them a...
I'm a Reds
Good
and
time.
Bengals fan. I will never be any...
Don't you have any feeling for New York now that you've been living here and
No,
you've had success?
I hate all New York teams.
Wow. It's fucked up. I should beat you up.
Go ahead, let's go. We'll fight it
I
out.
wonder if I could beat you up. Are you a good fighter? I think I could take you. If I can't take you, I'm a real pussy.
It's been a while since I've fought, but...
Have you fought?
Not really, no.
I got a wicked right, man.
Listen,
Developed in Roosevelt.
I will scrap. I will do whatever it takes.
Right. Do you bite when you fight?
If I have to.
Oh, shit. That's crazy. That's
You could
retard
lose a
fighting.
limb.
I don't know. I'll do whatever it takes to defend
I'm going to
myself.
bite you.
I'll start flailing.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Howard.
There will be no method to my madness.
I've got like
so
that whole.
he's taking you on. He's saying he could win.
I've got that whole karate training.
Hold on. I'm not
in a-
saying I can win.
I got that whole karate training, but in a real fight, that goes out the window after the first punch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just start grabbing.
I think everybody knows that karate doesn't really work except in the movies.
Yeah. It only works in the movies because I took karate and it was like, yeah, you know, and you do this and then you do this move and then you do that move. And then you get into a real fight. All of a sudden you just grab a guy.
Nobody's coordinating with you where you move.
Yeah, like I should take advantage of my long arm reach and stuff, but I don't. I come right in at you. I come right in and I'm up close. And that's stupid because I get hurt. Ah, fuck it.
I watch a lot of MMA fights. So
That's crap.
I
maybe I'll
think
figure.
weapons are always the way to go.
You know who watches MMA fights? Guys who can't fight. Guys like me. And I'm like, come on, kick his fucking ass.
Yeah,
I'm like,
well, hey.
you big pussy. I can't fight.
Well, you're two MMA watchers.
Yeah. Two of the biggest douchebags watching MMA.
Howard, don't you think that's kind of gay, that MMA?
I know what you mean. Like it's
They're rolling around on
Certain
the,
poses.
yeah,
Certain moves.
It is a little
Every
weird.
time I tune into one of those fights, it's two guys laying on top of each other.
For a long time, an inappropriately long time.
And they're, they've got these faces like they're having sex.
Well, I'll tell you what, those guys are some of the greatest fighters in the world, but it is an awkward looking thing with their clothes off and they're
When one guy
And sometimes one guy's face is in the other guy's genitals.
yeah.
They're 69 all the time.
Yeah. Well, it appears there's 69 going on, ladies and gentlemen.
Not gay.
That'll make me tap out if a guy starts 69ing with me. He's got his balls in my mouth.
Balls in the face, I'm out of there.
Oh, my God. Yeah, but I'm the worst fighter. I don't know. You probably could take me.
Could you scrap like that? Could you roll around on the ground with a guy?
I've had like people sit on my head. I've had every single I've been in every awkward position there is because growing up I had to fight all the time, always. I was constantly fighting, and I'm like not a fighter, but you had to, or else you got laughed out of school. In my school, you had to fight. You didn't have you could not, even if you lost, you fought.
Because that was the scary time when it wound up on the ground. Like when you were standing. It looked like you had a chance to get away.
Yeah.
But once you're on the ground rolling around, it just looks terrible.
Hey, Howard, did you fight back when the guy took your pants?
He didn't get my pants. He threatened to get them, and I didn't have to fight that guy for some reason.
Oh, good for you.
He was an idle
I thought he
threat.
got them.
He was more of an intimidator. He was part of a gang, a street gang, a very well-known street gang, and he said that I wasn't going to live till I passed 14 years old, and I was like, "Oh shit, this guy seems pretty wise." He says, "You're just going to get taken out." He goes, "You're a fly on the wall here. You're a sitting duck. You're not even affiliated with a gang." My school was like a prison. You had to have affiliations. And this guy was part of the 5% Nation, and that was a pretty heavy-duty organization. And he just said to me, "You're not affiliated. You're not. You're a white man.
Outcast. You're an outsider.
Yeah, you're a white kid.
You don't have any group.
You're a nerdy white kid in a black community. Like he even was like, what are your parents thinking?" And he goes, "Now give me your pants. I really like them." And I go, "I can't do that." I said, "I'm going to have to fight you because I'm not taking my pants off in English class."
You were like, what was that movie? Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, that was my life. And then when I go home and my mother tell me how hard her life is, I go, "Look, why don't you open up your eyes and take a fucking look at what's going on with me? You think I'm having a picnic?"
Every day when you go to the shower, it's a nightmare.
Oh, my God, shower. Everything was like that. I told you, I walk in the locker room, people would start throwing garbage cans over the top. That's why I'm so fucking bitter and angry, and I'm just inside, I'm just a boiling cauldron of anger. I don't want to hear about anybody else's problems because who paid attention to mine? Go fuck off. You couldn't possibly have it that much worse than I did. I'm lucky to be standing.
Do you think you were angrier when you were younger before you went to...
No, all the anger came out as an adult. I wasn't angry. I was a soldier when I was young.
No, I mean,
He
like,
was
before
beaten.
I was my mom's soldier. I wanted to make her proud of me. I was like,
But
oh.
I'm talking about when you got to like Rockville Center and you just sort of disappeared. You didn't
I became what a guy who suffers from post-traumatic stress syndrome. Now, I'm not saying that lightly. I walked around in Rockville Center in a coma. I tried to pretend like I fit in. I was in a town full of white people, and I didn't know how to relate, and I started taking drugs because I couldn't talk in class. I was intimidated by the white people. I felt so alone. so inarticulate. So everyone else seemed to have friends. I felt like a fish out of water. And you know how kids are. I mean, nobody's going to sit there and take pity on me. If anything, I was goofed on. I was not even goofed on. I was ignored. I wasn't I wasn't the guy who got goofed. I was just ignored. It was as if I didn't live there.
Well, thank God it happened, because you wouldn't be who you are.
I don't know. I think I could have been better. I'm so fucking damaged inside.
I know, you're pretty good.
I walk around angry. I don't want to walk around angry.
I'm angry, and that never happened to me, so.
Well, you're angry because you sit in the house all day. You got to get out. All right, Tommy, I got to go. Yes, Jerry, you're on the air.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Hey, just real quick about Tommy from Walden.
Yeah.
The reason he stays on the phone so long with you is because he's jerking off and he needs to finish before he's done. So that's why he stays on the phone so long with you. That's why he asks 50 questions.
You know, people hate Tommy from Walden.
Oh my God, he's horrible.
I don't hear that he's horrible. He gets on. He's got a couple of topics he wants to talk about. I don't understand why people hate him. But
that's why, because he asks a ton of questions. I mean,
is that bad? But what if he's having an interesting dialogue with me and he's joining in? I mean, I don't get. There's such hate. I am getting so much hate mail because I don't like Gary's new television show. I mean, it's unbelievable. Oh my God, Robin! I've never gotten more hate mail over a topic.
But are they watching Gary's new show?
No, it's horrible. And what I did was I tried to improve Gary's show. I found a way to improve Gary's show if he insists on reading his reviews of tech equipment. I can slow it down.
The tech product I want to talk to you about this week
But this is my worst nightmare.
called Apple TV. Now, I think Apple TV is a very misunderstood.
Apple TV is a very misunderstood. Thank God Gary's around to explain it to us, because we don't understand it.
Yeah, who's misunderstanding it?
I don't think tech guys are misunderstanding it. I heard the big thing is Gary's next show he's bringing on John Hine as a guest.
Is he?
Which makes sense, because when Gary's around John, he talks like a normal guy.
Right. He can have a conversation.
Right. And by the way, Gary's show's only going to get better from my guidance. So stop sending me hate mail.
Even though everybody's hating on you, you're making Gary better.
I guarantee you the next show, he's bringing in John Hine. I know it's going to be better. I can't wait to see the new and improved Gary show.
Product. But if you own an iPad or an iPhone or any kind of Apple product, to me, this is a must-own product. It's a way to integrate all your stuff and bring it up on the big screen.
Shoot me now.
He sounds like one of my professors.
It's like Professor Gary. Today we'll read from the book. What's up?
No, it's getting better.
I know it is, and I helped you, and you can thank me for that.
I thank you.
You're welcome. I know I gave you some tough love, but it is love. I know you don't think it is, but
It's
it
not.
is. It is. I love you. You should see. I ignore the people I don't love.
JD, while talking with Howard, the hypothetical fight between the two of you came up.
Yes.
Do you think you could take Howard?
I don't know.
He thinks he can take you.
Oh, I'm sure. Listen, my self-esteem wouldn't allow me to say I could take someone. I wouldn't go down easily, though. Maybe I would. I don't know.
You've got a lot of heart.
Try.
In many ways, Howard sees a bit of himself in your eyes. I think that's how you guys originally bonded before he realized that you were a good worker. I think he saw a little bit of himself in you.
Okay.
Have you ever had any situations growing up similar to what he described about getting your ass kicked and just feeling completely
I managed to avoid all fights. I just didn't talk to people hardly at all.
So you're just a non-threat. It wasn't like
you know what? I had friends that were sort of popular, and I had friends that weren't popular at all. So I was sort of in the middle ground.
You were Switzerland.
I suppose.
This conversation all started, talking about how you made the move from the Cincinnati area to where you are right now, and how you still have a lot of pride.
Well, I moved from Ohio to Florida, and Florida to here.
Right,
so,
but you're
to get the timeline correct.
Okay, chronologically speaking, yes. But you still have ties and love for the Cincinnati area with your sports teams and all that. Mm-hmm. But would you consider this the best era of your life since you've made the move to New York?
I suppose. I've had more fun than I've had ever, so yeah. This is not fun though. This is pretty much a low point right now.
Is this some of the pain and
Yes,
tragedy?
it is. Get that camera any fucking closer to me. Get out of here, will you?
All right, let me get back to the show and Robin in the news.
Well, they say that you can keep an eye on President Obama and Mitt Romney during the debate to tell who will win the election. A body language expert says the candidate who blinks more during the debate has lost every election but one since 1980. That's Boston College professor Joseph Teach, who bases his theory on the relationship between eye movement and emotional state. He says stress and other unpleasant feelings cause people to blink more often.
There's a guy studying that? Like, who would even think to study? Like,
And
what a
guess
waste
who
of
the
a
one
life.
exception was?
Bill Clinton.
Reagan.
George W. Bush blinked more than Al Gore.
That was a
Still
blinky
won
bastard. I got to tell you, if I was
Electoral
running,
College.
I do a Clockwork Orange kind of thing, man. I just keep those eyes open with a big prong. But that's absurd. That somebody would sit there, like somebody sat down and said, I'm going to study how many times somebody blinks in a presidential debate, and then I'll determine who's going to win.
Yeah.
Like, that's really, you got to have a lot of free time for that.
Or, this is the age of television and the computer. You can get all these things, and you can get them done without human effort. President Obama's strong showing among likely women voters is driving his 4-point national lead over Republican presidential nominee Mitt Romney in a poll out today. So women are pretty turned off by that Republican platform.
You mean you think the guy didn't sit there and count each blink? You think he had a computer do it?
Absolutely.
I don't. I think he had to do it the old-fashioned way, count every single blink. We need to interview him.
The Quinnipiac survey of likely voters shows Obama leading Romney 49% to 45%. The poll shows women favoring the president 56% to 38%. So the president is leading with women.
You know who blinks a lot? That guy's wife who did the study about blinking. She's like, I can't believe I married you. And she's just blinking away.
He likes blinkers.
Today on the Gary Dell'Abate show, they call me Baba Booey, a machine that counts the amount of times you blink.
It's called Blinkos.
Blinkos. It's like Sonos, but Blinko.
It's for your eyes.
It's very misunderstood.
A very misunderstood thing. Apple TV.
But once you understand it, you'll understand it.
Is Apple TV very misunderstood?
According to Gary.
Very misunderstood.
And now, does he write his own copy, or do they write that shit for him?
Oh, I think these are supposed to be his opinions.
And now a very misunderstood thing. Oh, you write it. Where is that? I want to listen to Gary's show. I love Gary's show. I decided I'm wrong. I don't want him to change a thing about it. I don't want him getting more comfortable. Where's Gary's show?
JD's putting it up.
Today's show is about Sonos or Apple TV, a very misunderstood product. I got to figure in some way I'm helping Gary.
You're just figuring it? You argued that for 2 days. You're just figuring it.
I love it now. I want it slowed down.
The tech product I want to talk to you about this week is called Apple TV. Now, I think Apple TV is a very misunderstood product, but if you own an
Isn't it better like
iPad
that?
or an iPhone...
Now I'm not missing a word. You know? What?
You're literally hanging.
His regular show's JD1 in orange.
JD1. Let's just listen to a little, Robin. It's so much fun. You want to hear about Sonos? You want to hear about Pink Floyd CD packages or
Ooh, that's new.
or DVRs? I bet you the DVR one
DVRs,
is exceptionally
DVRs.
boring.
Yeah.
When my kids were younger and I told them bedtime stories, I would often tell the story of a place long ago where you actually had to get up and go over
You
to...
actually had to get up.
And go where?
I don't know. Oh, my God.
if you're not going to let a thought finish, let me
Hey, come on. Let me have fun. Let me have fun. Why do you have to interrupt? Don't interrupt.
That's what I'm doing now. I'm interrupting your broadcast.
I know, but I want to have fun with it.
Tell the story.
Oh, absolutely.
the TV to physically change the channel and how there were only 6 channels. I'm not including PBS. My son...
What's he talking about?
The world before remotes.
Oh, I'm not including PBS. Why not? Why is he not including PBS?
I don't know why PBS doesn't
Nobody
account.
watched it when we were kids.
Yeah, but we had it.
Nobody watched it.
Don't interrupt. We want to try and figure out what you're talking
Then why
about.
mention it?
It existed, Robin.
I don't want to be accused of false.
Then I would say there were 6 channels. People go, no, there weren't. There were 7.
Well, then say 7.
Would look at me in amazement.
He has nothing to talk about, Robin. He's trying to drag it
I
out.
did say 7.
Let's start over again. Let's see how long we can go without interrupting. Maybe Gary's
All
right.
right.
When my kids were younger and I told them bedtime stories, I would often tell the story of a place long ago where you actually had to get up and go over to the TV to physically change the channel, and how there were only 6 channels. I'm not including PBS.
Why didn't he include PBS?
Oh, don't even get into it. We just went through that. But also, why is he making up stories about no remote controls for his children?
I don't
as
know.
a bedtime story.
Because we didn't have, when you were a kid, did you have a remote control?
Kids, I want you to know.
Answer the question.
Kids, I want you to know everything about Daddy.
Hold on. Robin asked a question. When you were younger, did you have a remote control?
They're perfectly good bedtime stories, Gary.
That's not.
No, I like to tell the
That's
kids
Robin. Now
before
you have to shift gears to be a dick.
before the kids go to sleep. I like to tell them about my life in Uniondale.
Once upon a time, there used to be a thing on the porch called a milk box. Now, the milkman would come, and he would put milk in the milk box. And when the
My
empty
son would look
bottle
at me in
was
amazement
empty,
and say, only 6? Well, television has come a long way. Now there are hundreds of channels with tons of great shows. So many channels and shows, it's hard to keep up. And that's where the DVR comes in.
Ah.
From humble origins, my first TiVo.
From humble origins.
Now, when does he use the word humble?
It's humble origins. From humble origins. Wow, we.
Oh. Tomorrow, I'm getting.
No, this isn't fun.
When Robin was on CBS Sunday Morning, we'll see if she uses every word correctly.
Is there a way to turn off his mic for me?
No.
Oh, my God. We're trying to have some fun. Can you leave? Don't you have producing to do?
My fun is not your fun.
Yeah, but I'm interested in my fun, and the audience likes my fun. It's not fun, Robin. He's interrupting it.
I know.
So much fun analyzing him. Oh,
And your kids accepted these as bedtime stories?
Do me a favor. Go tell the interns a bedtime story while Robin and I talk like adults.
If Robin's going to ask me a question, the answer is yes. I would actually goof around and tell them the story, and they thought it was funny.
Here's an interesting story, kids, about what it was like for Daddy to grow up without his remote control. And now we have Sonos and misunderstood Apple TV. What was the phrase he used?
Humble origins.
I tell them about Dad's humble origins of not
It's not Dad's humble origins. It's the DVRs.
The DVR's humble origins.
and I was like Lincoln because we did not have a remote.
It's a single tuner with very limited space
Tuna? I love tuna.
to keep recorded programs. The DVRs of today can often be the most powerful piece of technology in your living room.
Oh, my God, what a show.
TiVo recently released a box that has 4 tuners. That's right. You can record 4 shows at once.
Oh.
I have 7 TiVos in my house, but each one only...
I have no laugh.
Bragging.
I have 7 TiVos.
There used to be 7 channels. Now I have 17.
Of course, I should say all of them record all the channels, including PBS, but I didn't say PBS, and one of them is Mary's DVR, but technically it is my DVR.
Imagine the bedtime stories you children would be able to tell your children.
Wouldn't Gary's show be a lot funnier if he was in a chicken outfit sticking eggs up his ass? Wouldn't you like that better? Daddy's a chicken. Imagine all these guys with secret lives and they're secretly chickens with shoving eggs up their ass and they got kids.
Yeah, that's your dad.
Poor Daddy had to watch Teen Anal on a VCR. There was no escaping Mommy. I heard a lot of guys on Wall Street when they go to their dominatrix, they like to put Gary's show on as a form of torture.
only has 2 tuners.
2 tuners.
Not to be outdone, Dish Network is boasting a box that automatically records all 4 networks.
Automatically accords. Accords. Oh, when he reads, he has such difficulty. And how does he think this is interesting? Because
It's really weird. The thing I'm talking about right now is the product you asked me about last week during the commercial. It must be boring as shit.
No, because you talk during the commercial, you don't
just
read.
said, why would anybody think it's interesting, meaning the specific product?
The way you're reading.
Oh, you didn't say that. Be fair.
Oh, my God in heaven. Can you fucking go away? You motherfucker.
Everybody, when you fuck with everybody, everyone gets a chance.
No, it's just you're sucking the life out of our fun. We love talking about you, not talking to you. We know you're the greatest.
It's just that you can hear us. You shouldn't be able to talk back.
Robin, watch the monitor when we're playing his clips. Gary just gazes off because he loves the sound of his own voice. He thinks he thinks this is a great show.
Fucking monitor, Jesus Christ!
No, you love it. You love hearing your show.
Oh my God, you're becoming a liar now.
No, I see you. You're like,
You see me? You don't
it's
see what
really
I'm
good.
looking at.
I love when I read.
You don't see what I'm looking at.
I see what you're doing.
Don't.
No, I do. I see what you're up to. I watch you. Watch his face when we're playing the clip.
All right.
He loves it.
So prime time in HD and saves them for up to 8.
Oh, now he's aware of it. All right.
Yeah,
anyway, any other news, Robin?
Yes. I don't know why, but maybe Gary can tell us. People are just saying television is horrible for kids.
Well, a lot of people are saying that, and now there's a brand new device created to keep your children from watching certain shows.
It's a jamming device called Nomos.
Nomos. It's a product put out by the same people who put out Sonos.
It's a remote control device
that is very misunderstood.
That came from humble beginnings.
It's a device that came from humble beginnings that is misunderstood?
That's right.
I wrote that myself. You know what's funny? Gary's bringing John on the show so that, to make the show better. But meanwhile, John's going to be so good on it, they're going to fire Gary and make Gary look bad. Yeah. They'll be like, hey, John, why don't you just take over the show?
They say that even when nobody's watching the TV, you shouldn't have the TV on.
That's right.
Because even the background television can cause your child problems.
When the boys were little, Mary and I would monitor what they watched on TV and on the computer. We used a very, very good device that would help us to monitor the boys' computers so they wouldn't know. Do you know the name of it?
No.
Gary, what is it?
Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself.
That's what it's called.
Go fuck yos.
Go fuck onos.
Fuckos.
Fuckos. It's made by the same people who make Sonos and Bonos.
Banana fan of photos.
Mary and I were able to monitor the boys of every move with using Fuckos.
And I have to say, it's the single greatest reason why I'm happy to be serious.
Dr. Ellen Rome, a pediatrician at the Cleveland Clinic Children's Hospital, says kids under the age of 2 should have no screen time and has recommended or recommendations for older kids, 1-8.
That's right, Robin.
This show is not for kids under 2.
Gary.
Yes.
This conversation doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. What's going to be your tactic moving forward?
I was surprised that he was mad that I responded because I thought he likes when I get pissed off. And then he's like, hey, man, you're ruining it. I'm like, I thought the whole point was to piss me off.
Right, it's like teasing your sibling or the girl on the bus trying to get a reaction out of it.
And then he just wants to goof on me without me arguing, and that's sort of shocking. Because
I'm sorry, how long has this show been going on for before Howard started to play the clips? I mean, how long have you been taping this for?
About 4 weeks.
So did you see this coming down the pike, or you thought he was just going to blow past it?
I thought that he would either be bored by it, because I don't think it's geared to him, or he would goof on it. But I didn't think he would goof on it to this magnitude.
It's sort of a crossover. He's bored by it and goofing on it because he's bored by it.
Well, if we were bored by it, he would not be talking about it. But it's probably better for him to be talking about it than to be ignoring it.
Okay, so now...
And he was right. On some level, he is helping me. I went to look the other day. I'll just give you a perfect example. Here, come on over here a second.
Okay.
So, when I went to look at it the other day, and I think each of my shows had like 3,000 views.
Uh-huh.
So if I go to it now, I go to video, and I go to the... Wait a second.
Hey, Colin.
So now you can see my first show has almost 30,000 views. My second show has 14,000. Third show has 16,000. The current show has over 20,000. So yes, he's helped me. There's no doubt. I thank you for that, Howard.
So that sort of speaks to the fact that any press is good. Bad press is still good press type of thing.
Again,
publicity.
I keep saying people who watch it say, yeah, you need a little work on this, a little work on that, but I like what you're saying.
Will he be in your head going forward with these tapings? Are you going to hear...
No.
Hear your own words coming out of your mouth.
I have a pretty good idea. My own words are coming out of my mouth no matter what. I'm not, I'm listening to what he said, but it's not like he's putting words in my mouth.
Are you fearful that your good friend John Hine will be brought into the ripping if he isn't
No, John.
strong enough in the tapings.
No, the segment John and I are doing is short and easy. School. I go, Mary, what did you do today? She said, I went to the gym and I did this and I did that. And
I do ask the
Jack
questions.
says who was on the show, and that's what you do at dinner, I think.
We do that at dinner. I do ask the questions, but there's really after being with somebody for close to 20 years, it's pretty much the same monotonous routine. So I always ask, and we certainly share a lot of things together, and we talk about our friends and things that are going on. But I mean,
the question is, could you pull off a Ponzi scheme with your wife not knowing about it?
No, I couldn't. Not with her. No, she's well aware of my schedule. She does. She puts my schedule together as far as the
Well, in this case, it wasn't Bernie Madoff's schedule. He had a regular schedule. It's just what he was doing while he was there.
That's right. I certainly couldn't pull it off. No, we're certainly in tune and in touch with each other as far as I know.
Hey, Ronnie, I see you over there. Are you doing Good Day LA or what?
I don't know.
Where did this come from?
Munfan Network.
What do you mean? A guy tweeted that, hey, Ronnie should do
this
Good
guy
Day
runs
LA?
a thing called Munfan Network, all promotion about Ronnie Mund.
What does that mean, though? It's like a website?
On Twitter.
Is this officially sanctioned by you, or
I don't give? Listen, I don't give a shit what he does. He puts shit up all. No, what are you talking about? Money? What do you? Right away, everything's for money with you. What are you?
The funny thing is,
about?
when Ronnie says he doesn't give a shit, in his world that is officially sanctioned.
Are you okay with it though?
It's so stupid.
No,
Stuff. Some
cool.
of the stuff
Do
he
you
puts up
follow it?
though. Well, it's on my page, so I see it.
Well, what are some of the other things you
some
think
of
she
the
should do?
Like here's some of the, like I could get on there right now probably because I'm sure he heard that he was mentioned on the show. There'll be like 10 in a row.
Of what?
Hey, Leonardo DiCaprio, put Ronnie Mund in your next movie. Hey, Donald Trump, make Ronnie Mund the judge at the Miss America pageant.
All right, so he's spreading the word.
Hey, NASCAR, you make Ronnie a grand marshal at your next race. Shit like that.
So he said, hey, Jillian, put Ronnie on.
Right.
So, in other words, you're not booked at all.
Pretty much booked.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm not booked.
But you are booked to walk the red carpet.
Oh, that's got nothing to do with him.
And what is that? You're walking the red carpet for Fox, you said?
Yeah, for UFC, the launch of UFC on Fox, November 12th.
And they're flying you first class?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's cool.
Is it because like you have another thing coming up?
Yeah, I got
or
something. I have something
going
going on with them, and the guy who's putting the UFC thing together is also the guy who's
part of
putting
that
my
thing.
thing.
This is cool. Like this is like a soft launch of Ronnie.
Yeah.
Like Ronnie's coming here, but not promoting anything, but just people get to know Ronnie for when he's got his big gig.
Need to be seen on the red carpet. So what's your plan?
As far as what?
You're just going to stroll down? You got to have a game plan going in.
What kind of game plan? I just walk and do the usual me.
Gary, you're a red carpet veteran. What advice can you give Ronnie?
Give me some advice.
Usually when you're on the red carpet, usually they're asking about the show, so just be ready for questions. I always try to figure out how I'm going to handle anything I don't want to talk about.
I'll tell him to fuck
Like
off.
when Howard's contract was up, and I went to the McCartney
I was
thing.
going to say, your plan for the red carpet is to tell him to fuck off?
Well, if I don't like what they're asking me, no, I won't say it. No, I'm only kidding.
Well, that's got to be exciting getting flown out to L.A., walking the red carpet.
Yeah, it's exciting. I'm all hyped up about it.
Are you bringing your girlfriend?
No, she can't go. She's got to work.
Don't you think? I can't see Jillian not having him. I know there are two other people and others in the decision-making process.
Oh, then he put up one also that I should be on Jimmy Kimmel. Hey Jimmy, he's coming out to L.A. You should put him on the show.
Jimmy could probably work you into a bit, but I don't think he could book you as a guest. Yeah. I think that, believe it or not, Good Day LA, they have like authors and actors on, and I know Jillian could do 8 minutes with Ronnie in her sleep, but I don't know if she could talk the rest of the people, the producers, into putting you on.
Right. Yeah. Hey,
you got any other plans while you're out there?
I'm going to see some friends because mostly I got just one thing going on, and then the UFC thing. So I'm getting out there on Thursday, so I'll have some free time and see some friends out there.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, it's Gary Dell'Abate. On Tuesday's wrap-up show, we talked to Benji because Benji brought in his new friend, this girl that he's in love with, that wanted to perform. So we talked about how wacky Benji was acting. He couldn't eat breakfast. He hung around all day doing her sound check. Then we all tried to give advice, and JD even stepped in to give advice on how not to be a friend to a girl. Here's what happened.
We've got plenty to talk about. Elisa Jordana, we got to finally meet after a lot of hype from Benji, and there's very strong reaction. Some people feel that she's using him. Some people feel that Benji knows this and doesn't care, and everyone thinks he's holding out the banger, except Benji, who says that that's not necessarily the case. But, Gary, it's pretty obvious that that is the case, don't you think? He's just smitten. I mean,
he doesn't see it, and we've all been in that position. But he's like, no, even if, she never sleeps with me, this is somebody I could be around with the rest of my life. But I think we all sort of know in a year she'll be gone. She'll be with the chick he brought to the Christmas party, wherever she ended up. Who is the greatest person ever and really a sweet girl, and we're going to be friends forever.
But will they remain friends? And I asked that because Marianne, who's been calling in all the time lately, his friend Marianne, they're still friends, and Benji's kind of went through this period with her.
I like that Marianne calls in, by the way, because we get nothing out of Benji. So she tells us what's going on, and I love when
Booker in the catsuit.
Yeah, well, not only that was funny too, but even like saying how Benji used to always talk to her, Benji wanted to have sex with her, which of course we know because we're men.
Now, and Will, maybe you should come down to talk about this, or Jason. How crazed was Benji leading up to this appearance?
Oh, here's a good one. Doug comes to me, Doug Goodstein from TV, and he says, we order Benji's breakfast every morning. He's never missed breakfast ever. He didn't come in until after she was done to get his breakfast because he was too nervous to eat.
I know Will said that he had sent some notes about her, which makes sense doing the research, but he was
sending out yesterday. He sent out a whole bunch of links to her songs and videos.
Got that. Then he was hanging around here doing her sound check. Then he was walking her around the station, went on Jenny Hutt's show to promote that she was going to be on this show, which, again, I said, I don't know whether Jenny Hutt has, 5 listeners or 5 million. It doesn't matter. He got to throw her in front of a microphone, and that looks really important.
Is the payoff going to be there, though, for him? He got her. He did all that. He got her on Howard's show. She got to play a couple of songs. The interview went well. Will he close?
The thing is, I've been down this road a couple of times, and I'd say, mostly it doesn't work. But every once in a while, you get somebody on an off night, they're vulnerable and maybe had a little bit to drink, and they get to the sort of like, you're a good guy. Maybe
you're saying a fuck of convenience.
Well, they give it a try because they really do like you as a person, and then it's just ugly for everybody. It's just they realize they don't like you. Now they fucked you. How do they get out of your life? It's uncomfortable for all involved.
Now, Will Murray, I saw you trying to research this guest yesterday, and Benji wouldn't leave your side, it seemed, like all afternoon.
I know. Typical Benji. Typical Benji is the one time you actually want to talk to him, he's not here, right?
Oh, I know. We're waiting for him.
Yeah, he's just, he was a pain in the ass with the notes. He had to constantly look over my shoulder and make sure everything was explained the way he wanted it. He was very worried about how she'd be perceived on the show and actually how he would be perceived on the show.
What do you mean by how he would be perceived?
Well, the whole ambient story that she told a little bit today, he didn't want that to seem like he was some kind of like
date
raper. Yeah, which I think he is a little bit.
So she was going out on the dates, and he was just tagging along, right? With the
and
Ambien
then feeding her drugs before the date as well.
And by the way, Robin brought this up. She said that was like what Nixon used to do. When Nixon met his wife, who wasn't his wife, he met her in college, and he was madly in love with her the way Benji is. And so he used to chauffeur her on her dates, like drive her to her dates, and just figured he'd hang around. Again, this is the whole Al Roker thing. But to me, the vision of Benji 3 tables away on her date is super creepy.
Yeah, the whole thing was bizarre.
Passing out, by the way.
And her too.
Yeah,
because she'd been drugged.
Again, I think we kind of flew past that. I know she's an adult and Benji didn't force anything on her, but the fact that he was recommending she take drugs either before her date or before her appearance on the show is so creepy. And who had the Ambien was just lying around. Like, I don't know. To me, that was a fascinating part of the story. But clearly, they're both crazy, and that's why you can make fun of Benji all you want. But a girl that would let Benji sit 3 tables away while she's on the date is equally as crazy as Benji is for doing it. So I don't know what is going on over there.
So you don't think she's just a happy, fun-loving spirit, and they connected,
Let
and
me
they're
tell you
Skyping,
something.
and
There was nothing fun-loving that came off. I mean, she was great. Though I'm not putting her down. She was good on the show, and she was a performer. But no, she didn't come off like a happy, fun-loving person to me at all.
Yeah, she doesn't seem like a traveling party.
Yeah. She seemed kind of like a downer, to be honest.
and and I wouldn't exactly describe her as asexual either.
No,
especially after
she's
hearing
very
some of those
sexual.
stories.
No, she's very. I mean, but another one of her great lines today was when I told the story about how she went to Rick's, and Ronnie said that she'd been at Rick's a bunch of times, and she goes, "Oh yeah, they have great lobster. Like you can't get lobster anywhere else in New York City but Rick's."
Hi, Benj.
By the way, have you ever had bad lobster?
Exactly.
It's
By,
lobster.
by the way, for everyone, we are fully in the vortex. But I think it
We
makes
started
sense
without you.
to go
That's
there.
okay. I don't mind. No
How did you feel
That's
after?
what he wants.
So she finally came in. We all got to meet her. She got to perform. But I thought I heard you say you felt a little sad after this was all over today.
Yeah, I go back and forth on it. You know, on because like I said on the show, sometimes it's just so much fun to be around her, and sometimes it does get a little sad. So
there was a lot going on.
Plus, I was really tired. Like we didn't get a lot.
But
of sleep
also,
last night.
I mean, to be a little mean, like
lot
you
of
might have
talking.
felt sad because you've now gone to the pinnacle of where she can use you. Meaning you. I mean, where do you go from here?
No, I listen. It's been the same way for weeks, and
No, but this was sort of a build-up. I understand where Jason's coming. Like this was a big thing. Like this was the kind of thing where you'd hope after you get on, maybe even not today, maybe tonight. Yeah. She goes, "Wow,
I don't have
this doesn't get you laid."
I don't have any fantasy of that happening now. I listen. I'm fat now. If I met a girl as heavy as me, but had as a good looking face as me, I would say, look, you got to lose weight.
Do you think if you lost that weight, like you're saying, and you're in your ideal shape, do you think that would make a difference? Because it sounded to me like today, it's not going to happen with her.
All right. Well, I actually tweeted this recently. The great thing about being fat is you always have hope.
But do you
Once
think it's
I lose all the weight and there's this?
But do you think it's only a weight thing? That's the only thing between you and her?
I think no. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't.
Howard asked point blank, "Would you bang Benji?"
Right.
And she didn't say no,
right.
But she gave the if there was a nuclear war kind of like she was giving the excuses.
She gave the being nice answer.
Do you think that would really work?
Well, it seemed like you got the sort of not that good looking but a great personality.
No, I know.
Right?
Like I knew when I pitched that as a hey, to have her on. I was just talking to Greg about this. Like there's three things going on. One, did I want to get her on the show and like help my friend out and impress her? Absolutely. Did I want and get her music out there? But I thought the premise of is she saying she's asexual? I knew she might have been just being nice to me, or I thought it was interesting either way.
No.
If she's really asexual, that's interesting.
No, what you really wanted to do was smoke out the truth.
Well,
seriously, I know. I mean,
maybe
you wanted to put her on the spot to get to the truth to say, is she asexual or is she just not interested in you?
No, but I thought either way it makes it a real interesting
to you, especially.
Yeah. But it started to come out in the last couple weeks anyway.
So do you look at her any differently after today?
I'm very impressed by her because I know she's as great as a performer she is, as talented as she is. She's hardly done any like solo radio on herself. Well, solo is herself, but and I know she was incredibly nervous. Like I know she's incredibly good, but also incredibly nervous. So I'm really impressed by her, overcoming her fears and like doing that.
That was another thing that I found really, really interesting. Right from when you pitched her at the meeting, I think she's very talented. But we've had many talented people cross through here.
Right.
I've never seen you so into it. And first of all, even when she was playing today, you didn't even know the TV show was doing cutaway shots of you bopping and so.
I really do like her music. So
I think you really like her.
We could tell.
Oh, I do. I really like her too, but I really like her music also.
JD, what advice would you have for Benji?
I was also bopping when Lady Gaga was in.
Not like this.
I don't know. I don't even know. If he's okay with them being just friends, then I'll let him do his thing, whatever.
But it seems like he
wants.
wants.
Hold on. But if he's looking, if he even thinks. He's dreaming of a little something more. I think he should just stop.
Well, no,
because you're really hurting yourself.
I get that, and like you said, I don't think she will meet someone better than me. I don't think that she'll meet someone better than me.
I had this conversation. With her during the break.
I don't mean better than. I'm saying that will make her happy.
She won't meet.
She'll be happy. Like have better emotional.
She won't meet somebody.
But maybe I'm wrong.
Then why isn't she saying, Benji? You know what? You're the love of my life. We should be together forever, always.
Because I'll never find anything better.
Because she's not at that point, and it might not happen. I agree that, and I might. Like I've said repeatedly, I might say, you know what? It does hurt me too much to see someone I really like this way, but. You know, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
I gotta say,
what happens.
I really like the angle you were taking for like getting her drugged up and then moving forward. So I would suggest, unlike JD, is either get more or better drugs.
All right.
Where do you think this will? Like, it's a year from now. Will you be friends? Will we have never not heard of her for 6 months? Where do you think it'll all be?
I don't know. I could see like I don't know. She's the kind of person I could see. If it doesn't work out, like maybe I like her. I like her a lot. So maybe it's someone I want all my life. And we, so I don't know.
JD, you've been the friend victim, right? With some chicks?
Yeah. Like,
have you remained
sort of recently? And yeah, you have to just. It took a little while, but you have to cut the cord.
Yeah,
but if people, because it'll kill you.
But JD,
like I went through some major anxiety over someone, and it's just like, ugh. It wasn't even worth it.
But when people were telling you, you know what, it ain't gonna happen. It's time to move on. You wouldn't listen.
Kinda. There were always the thoughts of maybe there's a chance, but then
JD, first of all, I think every guy's gone through this, and I'm assuming you're talking about. I can't remember. It started with Ash.
No.
It was
someone you
else?
don't even know.
Okay,
Ashley Madison.
You know her? Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you were about to say something.
But have you ever had this with somebody and remained friends with them?
Not really. No. Once a girl isn't into me, attracted to me or whatever, it's hard. What are you laughing at? It's hard for me to be just friends with them. You know what I mean?
Same here. It's not. Or sometimes it is, and sometimes it's not.
Aren't you worried about if something does happen romantically, it's going to destroy everything you've built? In terms
What do you mean?
Of because you could be
if we get together romantically.
It's like a bad John Hughes movie, but you could be friends with them for a very long time. Then that moment happens. Then all of a sudden, it just didn't live up to expectations.
That's possible. I mean, but I'm not looking for a guarantee.
I was back there in the newsroom, John, and Al, who's editing up the news stories today for us, told me an interesting story that when Benji did the hurricane show, where he was doing a 1-hour show during Hurricane Irene, I think, he had asked Al to upload 20 songs of this girl into Profit to play throughout the show.
She was gonna be one of the people I interviewed. They said they couldn't get her on the phone.
Now, so Al sat there and had to upload 20 songs.
Well, they asked me. They said, "Give us every single thing you want to upload that could possibly be." Because they also told me when I did the Hurricane show, it could be all night.
So you skipped the Billy Joel anthology.
No, I also had several Daniel Johnston songs. I tried to get a Kenny Roby song about
Daniel
a hurricane.
Johnson?
Another guy won't bang him.
Yeah. Well, don't say that so quickly. Hey,
Benji, one question real quick. At your peak, do you think you like Marianne more than you like, what's her name now, Elisa?
It's so hard to... No, I don't think so.
Does it bum you out that...
I do love Marianne.
Does it bum you out that Marianne calls in? Because
it pissed me off. I mean, I love her, and Marianne is one of my closest friends, and we're one of my best friends. But I don't like this, I don't like... It's you don't need to tell people... just give it up. I don't believe in telling people give up something. I can say hey, you know what? I think it might lead you to getting hurt. But just drop it. It's never going to happen.
I was asking more about the stuff because you don't tell us anything. So she tells us the stuff about you.
Like what?
Like that you used to try to talk dirty to her and what your moves were and her and all that stuff.
Listen, Marianne and I joke around a lot.
Did they involve Amy?
And what were you doing yesterday? I mean, you were all over the place with this. I know Will said he was trying to get you for a pre-interview. He really...
Yeah.
I mean, you were in his hair. You did a show last night. Are you playing up the moment, or you just?
No, I like Gary. There was a build up to this, and we did. There was a lot of. She did like rehearsal and stuff, and there was.
It's like Clive Davis. Isn't it going? Sounds like a hit, sweetheart.
I was there for the rehearsal. It was cool. Benji was videotaping it and asking people to come in to watch. And
she said because she felt better because she was very nervous about performing, so she wanted different people to. Strangers just to be there.
Do you think there's a chance that she might be using you for all of this?
No, I don't. I don't think I think when I initially talked to her about getting on, she was like, "No, don't try to do it."
So that brings a question that was a big debate in the back office.
I think she enjoys it, if especially.
I'm sorry.
sorry.
Is the onus on her to cut it and say, "Listen, I'm not going to bang you," or is the onus on Benji to recognize that it may not happen?
She said that. So she's done her onus.
She really hasn't, though.
She didn't say no.
She's left the door ajar, ever so slightly.
Yeah.
If she
really has, though, and that's the tough part.
Like a sheet of paper will fit through.
Well, that's exactly it. But a sheet of paper is enough when you feel like the way you do.
That's not when you're his size.
If she was playing you, and I'm not saying that she is, but if she was, she's playing you perfectly.
Okay. But I don't think so. I think she has a really good heart.
I think that as long, like if she told you there is 0% possibility you and I will ever sleep together, and then you continue to do nice stuff for her, I think, okay, that's not her fault anymore. But I kind of agree with Gary. She left the door open, and in a way, it's definitely using you. And even if she's not doing it to be malicious, it's still using.
I think you guys are all cynics. I think that tends to be a lot of people are cynics. I'm not as cynical about.
You're a romantic
pussy fog.
Yeah.
On Wednesday's wrap-up show, two of our favorite people were here, Ronnie Mund and J.D. Harmeyer. And Ronnie spoke about how you get permission to chain a guest because he was worried about Lou Bellera and Joey Buttafuoco possibly getting into it. So we heard some Ronnie logic, and then right after that, J.D. talked about the email he sent to Howard, which said spoiler alert, and had the spoiler in the subject. Two great minds, all for you.
Ronnie, with Lou and Joey coming in, a lot of the they got along very well. But Gary, you should describe the setup because there was a whole reconfiguration of the studio, and one was isolated, and a lot went into it.
I'll talk about that, and then I'll talk about the conversation that Ronnie and I had yesterday, how it all led to this. But basically, what went on was Howard was very fearful that there was going to be an altercation. And Ronnie and I had spoken yesterday morning. I went to Ronnie. I said, "You got extra guys tomorrow, right?" He goes, "Yeah, absolutely," because we knew something could happen. So I get a phone call from Ronnie at like 1. I guess Howard called me when I was down with Tim, and I tried to call Howard back. I couldn't get him. Ronnie called me. Howard's very nervous about what's going to go on. And then Ronnie said something about a ball and a chain, which I didn't understand, which in all fairness, Howard must have said to him. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, handcuffs and balls and chain. Like, we can't do that.
Does Ronnie have a security or police type of voice or manner when he's talking, like when he's setting up these plans?
We were just talking. Ronnie and I talk about this, like how you going to handle this, how you going to handle that. So Ronnie had informed me, because Howard had gone to the gym, and Ronnie said he called me. He's worried about tomorrow. He talked about maybe handcuffing them or putting them in a ball and chain. But I called the people that work here, and it can't happen, et cetera, et cetera. So I just sort of let it go by because I knew it was an idea that came and went.
Right.
And then I said to Ronnie, we've done this twice before. I said, why don't we put one guy in Robin's studio? That way your guys can block the door either way, him coming out or Joey going in.
And that ended up being Lou.
Right. We put Lou in there and put one guy on the couch. And so everybody liked that idea. Now, I'm trying to think who the other people, who's the black wrestler? I think his name was Booker T.
Mm-hmm.
And I think somebody interviewed him and gave him a quiz, and he did not come across looking very bright, and he was fucking angry.
Yeah.
And so we put him in the booth. That's one I remember. And I think we did it one other time.
Oh, the KKK guy.
Which kid?
Yeah, Daniel Carver for the Carver roast.
That was the roast.
Protect him, though.
That was the roast.
Right. He was in there. But Ronnie, what was your plan, and did you leave a message like that for Howard?
No.
So what did you tell him?
No. We talked in the car, and he said that he was nervous about, he didn't want any problems. So I said, well, we're bringing extra guys in. And he goes, well, maybe we should chain them to the couch and one to the chair, or handcuff one or whatever. I said, I don't think that'll work, but I'll check into it. So I checked into it with a couple of people here that work here, security people. And, it's you can't do that unless you get permission.
How many people did you check with?
Well, 2 different people.
Okay. And did you think Howard was being like dead serious? I want them chained. I want them handcuffed.
He wanted something to make sure that they wouldn't get at each other.
But that's not the issue.
Well, there wasn't an issue.
I don't think that was Howard's point. Howard's point was, did you think he was asking for you to do it without their permission?
No. How can you do it without their permission?
But you were saying we can't do it without their permission.
Right. Well, that's what.
So then we could have done it with their permission.
Yeah, you could have. Yeah.
So then why would you say to Howard, we can't do it without their permission if you didn't think he was asking that?
Benji.
I actually know what he's saying. He's saying that you shouldn't go. What Benji's saying is you should have called Howard back and said, we can do this.
I did say
but
that.
we're going to have to get their permission, and they may not give it.
I did say that. If we got them either written or them telling on camera, beforehand, like we do when we get the IDs from girls and stuff like that, that I give my permission to be handcuffed into a chair.
But did you ever assume that Howard was going to want to do it without their permission?
No.
So normally you don't bring up something like that unless you think.
Why wouldn't you bring it up?
Why would you say also like?
Why is it so?
We
why
can't
do you
force
have
feed
to
them.
pick at everything?
No,
why
I think it's interesting.
What?
I'm not trying to be mean about it.
No, but I don't understand what the problem is here with you with this. What is the problem?
I swear it's not a problem. I find it interesting.
Okay, it's interesting, but I told him every scenario of it, and that's why he said I left this long message.
What was every scenario?
The scenario was either you could handcuff them with their permission, or you can't handcuff them unless they're under arrest.
See, that's where it gets funny because I think we all know that nobody's going to handcuff them without their permission.
Well, no, you can't just have them walk in and say, "Hey, listen, man, we think there's going to be a problem here. We're going to handcuff you."
No, you could have them walk in and say, "We think there's going to be a problem here. We were thinking about it. Might be funny if we handcuff you. Are you cool for that?"
Yeah, right. But they didn't. They weren't cool about doing that here.
How do you know? Let's get to that. Who wasn't cool about it?
The serious people.
They didn't like the idea of handcuffing people.
Then we couldn't do handcuff people at all
if we had their permission.
Well, hold on. But you're saying two different things. Either the serious guys told you no.
They weren't happy with it either way, but it can be done if you have their permission. But they weren't happy about it. What can I? What?
Wait. So the handcuffs.
How much more can I say?
Wait, Ronnie.
They weren't happy about it here.
Okay.
So the handcuffs were out. But what about the chains?
No, the same difference, John. Chains, handcuffs, the same thing.
All right. So after you found this out, what was the next plan? Did you design the layout?
No, Gary. I spoke to Gary. Gary said, "We've done this before. What if we do it this way?" And I said, if there's a problem with that, call me back and we'll try and work something else out. I never heard from him again, so I assumed everything was fine. When I came in this morning, that was the plan.
When you came into the studio later, when Howard was talking about it, you told Howard he was coming all over you. Where did that come from?
Well, right, he jumped all over me saying I was talking like a cop and all. I left him a message. I did the right thing. I told him what, he likes to know what's going on. I told him what was going on.
Right, but you didn't say you're breaking my balls. You said you're coming all over me, and that seemed like an odd choice of words, I thought.
Why, John?
Why?
You can answer that question, Gary.
He's breaking my balls no matter what. If I do the right thing, it's not good. If I do the wrong thing, it's not good. What can I say?
Joe in Pennsylvania, you're on the wrap-up show.
Okay, I'll tell you where the problem is, Ronnie. It's if this were a trip you were planning out to California to do some Fox TV show, you'd have been a lot more tenacious. You'd have checked into a lot more sources. You'd have gotten it done. You're getting lazy. Bottom line.
Yeah, okay, fine. How am I lazy? We got it done.
You didn't get it done the way Howard wanted to. You said no right away.
I did not say no right away.
You're a negative guy.
I said I would check it, and you're a fucking asshole, okay? You don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Be careful. You're going to break a hip.
Yeah, okay, good.
All right, thanks for chiming in there, Joe. As it turned out, it was a pretty normal conversation that Lou and Joey had, right? There was none of that.
Yeah, but you don't know what's going to happen. How do you know what's going to happen?
There was a whole weird thing that started out right from the beginning where I went out to the hallway to talk to Joey, and he goes, "Hey, Gary, thanks for not returning my phone call 2 Thanksgivings ago." And I'm like, what are you talking about? I've spoken to Joey probably 4 times in the last year and a half. I'm probably one of the few people in any business, show business or otherwise, that calls him back pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So he seemed to have some bug about me, the whole thing. So he said, "Can I bring my wife in?" And I said, "I don't think that works. Why don't you bring her into the green room, and then you'll go in, and then if Howard wants to call for in." And he said, "Okay." And then when I walked out to get him, Howard goes, "Bring them in." Joey goes, "Bring my wife in." And I said, "No, you're not, Joey." And he goes, "Yeah, that's what I'm doing." And I said, "Joey, we just talked about this 20 minutes ago." "No, we didn't." "Yeah, we did, Joey. We just talked about it." "Well, I changed my mind." I go, "I know, I changed mine as well. She can't come in." And it got so this is, of course, while I'm walking her in. So it got to be. He was very odd today. He was in this very odd and contentious mood. And then I guess I was the brunt. I didn't hear it, but I guess I was the brunt of Gary's keeping me off the show.
Where you going, JD? Yeah. JD, where you going? Why are you writing it on paper? Why don't you speak into the microphone?
It was something that we already covered, actually.
So what?
It was a good point, though. JD made.
Well,
look, I won't say, Ronnie. I won't say.
Speak up, man.
I won't say it was JD because I didn't have this conversation with him. But some people said that when you went and said you're coming all over me, you were trying to create another catchphrase.
No, I wasn't. Oh, God.
It was very odd, Ronnie.
Yeah,
it was very odd.
Yeah, okay, like your catchphrase yesterday.
No, my catchphrase yesterday.
Yeah.
Pussy fog.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
You don't hear me using pussy fog, do you?
You don't hear me using coming all over me
Yeah,
either,
you
do
did, actually.
I used it once today. That's it.
Okay. That's right.
All right.
That's all we need is one.
All right. Don't come in and write it on paper. Speak into
I
the microphone.
didn't want to bring something
That's why
up.
they call it the
I
rapper show.
hadn't
You
been
talk here.
Hold on. I hadn't
I know you can't talk good.
I hadn't been listening, and I didn't want to bring something up that had already been discussed already. I was having respect for the show. Unlike you, who
Why?
just
Since
wants to
when
bring-
do you? Since when do you have respect for the show?
I have respect for everything I'm involved in.
Good.
Why did you email a spoiler alert to Howard that had the spoiler in the title?
That is amusing. I'd love to hear this explanation.
There was a mention. Arquette mentioned Howard on Jimmy Kimmel, and I just I forwarded the message, and I assumed he had already seen Arquette had gotten kicked off. So I just put spoiler alert: Arquette was kicked off last night.
But why would you assume it? Because you don't know that Arquette's kicked off till like 9:58, right?
Yeah, well, I assumed he woke up early enough or tried to find out or something.
Because most people would have been spoiler alert. Don't read this if you don't want to know who got kicked off Dancing with the Stars last night.
He's going to see either way. He's going to see who mentioned him on Kimmel.
No, but if you said what I just said, then he wouldn't do that.
No,
Well, I mean, but Gary's saying like you would just say spoiler alert. The results of Dancing with the Stars
Listen,
vote.
Either
is in
way,
here.
if I put spoiler alert or not, it would have been spoiled because he would have seen that
not if
Arquette
he didn't want
had
to.
No, he
mentioned
wouldn't have.
him.
No, he wouldn't have. Oh, if you said spoiler alert, don't open if you don't want to know who got kicked off Dancing with the Stars.
But
he wouldn't have opened it.
He would have to know either way.
So you were being sarcastic writing spoiler alert.
A little bit, yes.
But sometimes sarcasm gets lost in an email.
Well, sorry.
Did Howard watch? Did Howard open his email and then did it spoil it for him, or did he already know?
I think he already knew.
Yeah. So there you go.
You came all over him, man.
Hi, I'm Amy Schumer. I'm a comedian, and I'm here at Sirius to be on Howard Stern's radio show. And it seems like people really like it.
Now, yeah, it's mildly popular.
Yeah, he has some listeners, right? He's growing. He's a work in progress.
Right.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of faith.
Yeah. In
We think
Jesus.
It's gonna be all right. Oh, of course.
The Lord will guide more listeners toward him.
As long as you give your soul to the Lord.
Oh, it's been given.
Okay.
My soul's been with the Lord for a while.
I figured you had that look to you.
Yeah, like I've been saved.
Amy, this is a big deal for you as a
This
comedian.
is it. This is the biggest deal there is for a comic.
Well, have fun today.
Any advice?
And just Godspeed, and may the Lord bless you and keep you.
He's always with us.
And also with you.
I should probably play Amy Schumer's appearance on the Charlie Sheen roast to get everyone all excited about her, right?
Yeah.
Because she's out in the green room, and I got a lot to get to today. I got to still play Richard and Sal's new phony phone call. that involves
Oh,
Ronnie.
that was an old one you just played.
That was just old, yeah. Amy Schumer is a young comedian. I think when Whitney Cummings went off to do her TV show, they had to get somebody new on Comedy Central who can be hot and be funny. So here is a. Hold on, Gary. Slow it. I'm going to play Amy. I'm going to play Amy on. Do you listen to the show out there? You always see the poor guest getting heave-hoed right out of here.
I was listening.
All right. I just thought it would be weird to play her appearance while she was sitting here.
Okay.
Okay? That's how I generally work into these things. Okay. How many years I've been with
Because we go over all this before we get in.
Well, all you got to do is listen to the radio. That's why I put a speaker in your room.
Hi.
Hey, Amy. Nice to see you.
Thanks for having me.
I'm happy to have you.
Look at this.
Look at your headphones.
Hi.
Look at you. How are you? Good to
I'm
meet
good.
you.
Good to meet you.
Hi.
Thank you so much.
Oh, we're glad to have you here.
What is this?
That's
this
a wire.
hurts.
What hurts?
What's this thing?
Let me see. I don't know. It's a clip of
It's
some
like
sort.
a netting.
It's like stabbing me. This is
Is it?
this is karma.
Is it hurting you? I could have it fixed.
No, I'll just I'll awkwardly sit like this. I'll hold it out like this.
Hey, Gary, the headphone wire is frayed and it's sticking into Amy's neck.
My precious angelic
Neck.
You'll come out of here all marked and scarred.
Be like, what happened? I'm like, oh,
What
it's
is
on
that?
Howard.
I don't know.
What happened?
I don't know.
Looks like someone had beaver teeth and gnawed through it.
A Jackass fan came in here.
Yeah, right.
This is their
You wanna
attempt.
switch to number 2?
Okay, whatever you want to do.
Ooh, thank you.
Look
So
at this.
much maintenance.
All right, here, I'll switch your microphones. I mean, headphones and microphones. It's both. Watch Gary at work.
Oh
Look how
my
good-
God, look at this. Thank
That's
you.
better. Okay.
How you
Miracle
feel now?
worker.
Feel
I
good?
feel wonderful. Yeah, I feel good.
Amy, so whenever I have a comedian in here and they do one of those roasts, I love to ask them about how awkward it is because when you sit there,
It's dangerous. You got Mike Tyson you're goofing on.
Yeah, and he was like so gentle, but you do have the feeling like, oh, you could murder me right now.
I watched that roast and I thought, I don't think Mike Tyson understands. Like he should just quiet down. Like he was actually arguing with you.
He's
Like,
like, are we going to take this? Like he's
Right.
like starting a riot.
I think some people don't ever watch a roast before
Right.
they do it, and so he thought it was like an urban like comedy situation where it was like good to participate, but it was like no, it was. He kept talking to me. That's why I had to.
did anyone calm him down during the commercials and explain, Mike, this is something where you just kind of
Yeah,
take
Don
it?
King was there.
Yeah.
No, nobody. He was.
No, Don
everyone
King's
was
there to explain it to him.
Yeah, everyone was so worried. I think he was like the wild card that they were
Right.
like he could really blow it, but he did a great job. He did. I think even better than it seemed like he did.
You got criticized at the roast because you did a joke about Steve-O,
Steve-O,
the guy who died, but I didn't think it was that offensive of a joke. It wasn't
No.
about that guy. It was more about Steve.
It was about Steve. Yeah, no, I really like the Jackass guys in those movies. I totally just thought of it as another roast joke. That wasn't like.
Was he angry with you afterward?
Well, Comedy Central chose to cut to him looking like he was about to start sobbing.
Right.
So people were like, "Oh my God! Like, why did you ruin Steve-O's life?" But I didn't think that would be like the joke heard around the world. I didn't talk
Do
to
you
him after because he was at the hospital because his nose was broken.
Because of this thing he did on the roast?
Because Tyson, yeah, he kept running into Tyson's fist.
And he broke his nose.
Yeah, that was the goal.
That
So-
is insane.
Yeah, it wasn't fun to watch. I left the stage. I was like, that's not.
And you
I
know
don't
what?
Need that.
They barely spent any time on it. Was like all for nothing because
Yeah.
Steve just ran into Mike Tyson's fist and
Yeah.
he broke his own nose.
Yeah, if you watched at the very end, William Shatner's watching and he goes, he says something like, Steve, oh my God. Like it was just, it was not a fun display. I didn't like
I feel
seeing
bad
that
for
live.
Steve-O because he's not, I know he wants to be a comedian and
Yeah,
stuff.
he's doing stand up.
But he always then relies on the stunt that's going to eventually get him killed.
There is a sadness to that, but
Yeah.
people love him. Like
Yes.
he has I found out the hard way. They have majorly hardcore fans.
I love Steve. I've had him on the show many times,
great.
but I
He's
always
great.
think he's going to kill himself. Like he'll all of a sudden light himself on fire, and I
Yeah.
go, one time this is going to go horribly wrong.
He's a liability.
That's the fear because
For
he
sure.
feels he has to deliver that.
I know. And it was like, he so is going in the stand-up direction. But, anything like that. There's a sadness to it.
Now, I hadn't heard your roast in a while, and then I realized you were making some funny jokes about Patrice O'Neal's diabetes.
Yeah.
He's a comedian. I've had him on the show.
Yeah, I love him.
But he had like a stroke over the weekend.
He did. He had a stroke.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I saw that.
didn't even hear that.
I saw that on Twitter that he had. Is it a severe thing where
I think so.
Oh.
Like there's only been I work at the Comedy Cellar a lot,
Right.
and there's only been some sprinklings of what happened, but yeah, it's
What's
really.
the sprinkle? I mean, what do you hear?
He's not seeing anyone. Like nobody's allowed to go see him, but he, God, I don't know. I'm gonna start crying. He was like passed out. Like I think maybe he can blink but he can't move. He can't talk. But this is like third hand
information.
Yeah. So yeah. But if anybody wants to email love for Patrice
Very
at Gmail,
funny guy.
set up.
Incredibly funny, yeah.
Oh, he's one of the best comedians working. I think people who don't know much about the roast think that there's any sort of venom there, but it's like, it's more, you get to go after the comedians the hardest.
Right.
It's called Love for Patrice
at Gmail.
At Gmail, and you can write him.
Just write, yeah, you can just.
Is he going to live? You don't know.
I don't know.
I just thought all comedians know the health of every other comedian.
No,
Well,
I mean,
usually
he's a
it
friend.
seems
Like
they're a small
Right.
community.
Well, yeah, especially the New York comics, it is kind of a tight knit thing.
Yeah.
But it's that there aren't really answers yet. It's not that I haven't gotten word. There's no real answers yet.
So did it ruin the foot joke? I mean, the fact that Patrice
No,
is
I
now...
still think that's like a sweet joke. That
Right.
joke was gold.
Yeah.
But no, he loved it. He was, and he's been in here. He's the most vicious. He can just slaughter you.
Oh my God! Funny story. I thought he was terrific. I heard some comedy tape of him.
Amazing.
So I invited him on the show. He came on a couple of times, I think. I think I have this right. I'm not sure I even remember. So at one point I said to Gary, "Gee, we haven't seen Patrice O'Neal in a while." He said, "Oh, he's not doing the show anymore. He's mad at you." I said, "What did I do? I don't even know him that well."
You had a falling out. You
Yeah,
didn't
we
know
had a
about
falling out, and he said you were on the air one time. You couldn't think of his name, and you said to Robin, he's a heavy set or a fat black guy. I
Yeah.
can't think of his name. The comedian we have on. So Robin said, "Oh, Patrice O'Neal," and he got angry with me that I didn't remember his name.
Oh,
Really?
Because he still talks to me. I saw him outside.
Did you?
Not too long ago, and I said, "Hey, Patrice," and he was like, "Hey, Robin, how you doing?"
Really? Oh, well.
But
yeah.
I hadn't seen him in here, and I did wonder why we hadn't had him in.
He's sensitive. He's a sensitive man. He holds a grudge.
I said to Gary, I said, "Oh, that's such a shame." I said, I
he
don't
was
know
always
him.
Funny.
Yeah, he's great.
His name was not on the tip of my tongue that day, but I was trying to describe to Robin who I was talking about.
Yeah.
But anyway.
He should understand that sometimes I have to remind Howard of my name.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, right.
Yeah, who are you?
You were great on the roast, Robin.
Oh, thank you.
Did you have fun doing that?
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, right?
A lot of fun.
But it's tough. It's like all your worst nightmares as a child in school coming true.
Was that the first roast you ever did for Comedy Central?
Yeah, I found out 2 weeks before that I was doing it.
So are you the hot girl who now gets the Whitney?
Are you going to
Thank
take
you.
the Whitney slot?
Do you get the
I'll
Whitney?
take that slot for sure.
You'll
I'll
take
take
Whitney's
Lampanelli's slot. I'll take whoever's. Yeah, I bet she has a nice slot.
So would you say that your career is struggling? Like it's a tough career because now
Are you making it? What is going on?
I'm here.
Where are we at? You're
I'm
here.
here.
Now
This
you were
looks
on
like Vegas.
You were. It does, doesn't it? It's
Yeah.
really tacky set. You were, but don't say that because the guys are very proud of it.
No, it looks
It's brand new.
amazing. This is a dream come true.
I always say to any of the comedians, were there jokes that you were going to do at the Charlie Sheen roast that got cut?
Yes.
There were.
There were.
Would
There
you
were-
share those with us?
Yes, I will. I'll share
Okay.
some. Let's see. And I don't remember why these were cut. Some of them, like Harvey Levin, backed out at the last second. He was supposed to do it.
TMZ guy.
TMZ guy.
Okay.
Yeah. And did you know he's gay?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't
We've
know
had
that
him
until
on.
I was. Oh, okay.
Okay.
He just talked about cock nonstop, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, wait a minute.
It dawned on me.
The whole time.
It actually dawned on me that he was gay when he talked about cock for 20
Is that
minutes.
what led you to believe that?
That's right.
I said, Harvey, you are one tiny little queer. The only box you'll ever come close to are the three you stand on to see over the cubicles. I said, you've done more fudge packing than a Keebler elf who loves anal. I said, Harvey, you bottom-feeding, despicable Jew. And I could say that
'Cause you're
because
Jewish.
I'm honest.
Right.
You make your entire race go from saying never again to, well, just this once.
You should have been there.
I know. He backed out. I was so bummed.
That
I
would've
was
been
going to
so
go after
good.
him.
Yeah. Now, do you write these yourself?
Yeah.
Wow, that's hard, huh?
It is.
What is the process of coming up with roast jokes? What is the inspiration? Like, what do? You just do you sit yourself down in a room
Yeah.
and go, I am going to think about Harvey Levin. about
what's the meanest, worst thing? What do I think his deepest insecurity is?
Right.
Or just like my fat jokes about Shatner. I had originally written those for John Lovitz, but Lovitz looked pretty good, so I was like, I just kind of transferred them to Shatner. And then I found out while we were sitting there that he's like in his 80s.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I'm calling this 80-year-old guy fat.
But
like,
made it even
give him a
funnier.
break. But he was a good sport.
Right,
yeah.
right.
But they cut
Do
out
you
my
feel-
Jeff Ross ones.
Do you feel bad about making fun of people at all? Does it get?
If I thought I really hurt someone's feelings, I would feel like shit.
Do you come up with really mean jokes that are so bad that you go, I cannot say this on a roast?
Yeah.
But that's the process. You've got to let everything fly.
Yeah.
And then you kind of tone it
which
down.
is weird because that joke, that Steve-O joke, I did not think that was going to be anything. You know, I didn't go into this roast like, I don't care who I hurt. I want to see my name in lights. I just wanted to do a good job and write jokes that I was proud of.
The other one I thought that was really was the, those two women whose lives
Your
you ruined,
daughters?
your daughter.
Yeah,
that was good.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a real good one.
I thought that was one that would have gotten more flack. But
How long
you never
does
know.
it take you? Like you get basically like 2 or 3 minutes on those roasts.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to come up with your roast material, your A game for a roast?
Well, it's 6 minutes. We each get
Okay.
like between 6 and 8 minutes, except Jeff Ross gets like an hour.
Right, 'cause he's so good at
Yeah,
it.
he's the best. He's
Right.
the best. Well, Geraldo was the best.
Yeah.
Greg Giraldo was great.
Oh God. So I think I found out that I might maybe do it like a month before. So I just started writing, and going around trying my set out. When I found out I was definitely doing it 2 weeks before, I went to every club and tried out the jokes.
Every joke, right.
And
Yeah,
Charlie
which is
Sheen is pretty easy. I mean, that's
a lot to work with, and you don't feel bad doing it because
Yeah.
his life is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. There's like not that much sadness to him, and I was glad he had us all over at his house the night before.
Oh, really?
At his manager's house, and he was just so cool. He just, I think, wanted to look us in the eye and make
Right.
sure we weren't like, we're gonna get you.
That's kind of weird. I had no idea.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
What a preemptive strike.
It was I thought it was a great idea. It's just because
But does that make you eliminate some of the jokes that the fact that you were at his
Yeah,
home?
when Lovitz wasn't really fat, I eliminated those jokes.
No, but I mean, did it make you eliminate any of your Charlie Sheen material because
No.
you were meeting him?
Oh no, not at all.
I would think maybe that would ruin it ahead of time. If I was Comedy Central, I'd be like, no one's getting together the night before.
No, they liked it. I think they're going to make it a tradition.
I see.
Because it's like the way I felt about it was like we're all kind of we're all doing this show together. We're all making this show together.
What do you mean they decided to call you like a month in advance and say maybe you'll be on?
Well, they shoot for the stars. Like I think they put an offer out. They put out offers to like Johnny Depp. You
Right.
know, they hope someone's going through a bad phase. Like they'll
But
just
is
catch
Jo-
someone having a meltdown.
But is Johnny Depp really the right guy to have to one of those roles? You've got to be really
He's
professional.
hilarious. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
Johnny Depp, I mean, would be a disaster. Although people are excited to see Johnny Depp,
People
the movie
love
star.
famous people.
Yeah, but I mean, you need a couple of views.
I think you need comedian, like comics,
Yeah.
do the best on there, no question. They
That's right.
sweeten everybody else's set after the fact, but the comics I think always do the best.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, my favorite part of the whole process was running around getting ready.
So what
you
did they
know?
cut of you? What did you say about Jeffrey Ross that they cut
Oh,
out?
they cut out all my Jeff Ross jokes.
Really?
I to intro to him, I was like, Jeff Ross is gross. I was like, but I mean, I could see a girl hooking up with you, Jeff. I would sit on your face just so I wouldn't have to look at it.
That's good. Why did they
Thank
cut
you.
that?
I don't know. I think just for time. They like to see the stars. Like, I
Right.
mean, and he's a star, but he's not
Right.
Sheen. Kate Walsh she's had such a full life, but no one to share it with. She really proves that no amount of money in the world can fill the hole that her uncle used to. They said no.
Oh.
They're like, no. I'm like, okay.
I don't know. I would have liked her. for
Right?
that.
Why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
She was cool. She's so cool. She
Does
would have
it-
been fine with it.
Does it kill you inside when you've crafted these jokes, you went to comedy clubs, and then they go, ooh,
And they stay on that piece of
no.
paper.
You mean the audience or
Yeah.
Comedy
No,
Central?
does it kill you that like you spent all this time working on a joke and then suddenly Comedy Central says at the last minute, ooh, no, no one's ever going to hear it?
Yeah, it
does,
hurts.
right?
It's like a loss. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
because
sucks.
I mean, you can't wait almost to deliver that joke.
Yeah, there's so many changes last minute that I was like, oh, it's going to be like this. Like I was supposed to go up earlier, and then they're like, you're going almost at the end. So it's all these things, and you're just like, oh, and they don't care about. They care about the celebrities. I didn't even get like my makeup touched up. Nobody told me the red carpet had started. I was like, anyone want my picture? They were like, no thanks. No one knows you.
Do you have these jokes memorized in a sense because you've worked so long on them?
Well, I only worked for 2 weeks on them, really. So a little bit, like I'd said them a bunch, but they're not on the tip of my tongue like my act would be.
Is it your biggest fear that you'll craft a joke for the roast and then you're delivering it and then you stumble like over a word and then all of a sudden, like Sarah Silverman told me that's her biggest fear.
My biggest fear is rape.
Rape. Next to rape.
Then, right after rape, a close second is no, not at all. I don't know. I don't think so.
Would your biggest fear be getting raped at the roast?
Yeah, getting raped on TV.
And stumbling over your line.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Speaking of rape.
Yeah.
So the one taboo thing they said to you, you can go do the Charlie Sheen roast, do whatever you want. But Mike Tyson, you can't mention
talk about the rapings.
You can't talk about rapings.
Yeah, but we sort of skirted around that because once they realized, because it wasn't the network that said no rape, it was like I think Tyson's wife, or they were like, "Hey, can we just sweep that rape under the rug?"
Yeah,
and we were all like, "Yeah, of course, we wouldn't bring that up." But one of my jokes, I just said. When you speak, you sound like a girl crying. Do you give yourself an erection? But he was like,
he didn't even understand that.
Yeah, it was that felt bad. That felt like like making fun of someone who was just like, what?
Why
but
didn't you say?
The whole time he was saying, "Hey, are we going to take this?" I was like, "Oh, that brings up the rape to me."
I know. He's like, when should I start raping this girl? Shatner's like, I don't know.
Why didn't you say to Mike Tyson, "I know you said no to the rape jokes, but since when does no mean no?"
No means yes, Mike.
Yeah.
I wrote some good rape stuff that I had to cut. Losing the rape hurt. That really hurt.
That was a good minute.
That was a rape.
Yeah, you got raped by the rape joke.
Yeah.
So when you do these Comedy Central roasts, that brings you, like, I had never really heard of you, and you were on Last Comic Standing, and you came in 4th place.
Yeah.
And yet I never watched that show.
No, me neither.
Yeah, I didn't care about. I can't even believe is it still on the air?
I don't know.
You don't even know.
Sometimes
I'd never seen it before I did it.
They don't. I don't think it was on this
it has
summer.
launched. No one.
Right. You know how American Idol had Kelly Clarkson? There is no one that got famous off that show?
No, not at all, which was a great thing. I'd been doing stand-up 3 years. I was like, who's from out of town? Like doing soft shoe, and luckily no one saw it. So I got to then, for a year after Last Comic, I went around and I headlined because, enough people watched it that you're a draw on the road. I really just got away with it. I'm surprised no one got their money back. And then I went back to opening for Attell and Norton and featuring and going on the road, and now I'm a headliner again.
Yeah, right. Did you always feel that you wanted to be a stand-up comic? Was this something like was a burning desire?
No, I'm looking to get out. I'm thinking about going to dental school.
You want that sitcom?
I don't know if I want that. I want to do work I'm proud of, like everybody,
Right.
But I love stand-up.
Where'd you grow up?
Rockville Center.
Oh,
yeah,
well,
I know.
A horrible place.
It is a horrible place.
I hated it.
I did not fit
in. A lot
in.
of funny people come out of Rockville Center.
That's true. Attell's from there also.
I always tell Robin, I thought it was very anti-Semitic. They have the archdiocese there.
Yes. They called me, instead of Amy Schumer, they called me Amy Jumer.
Oh, wow.
I'm serious. And one day, it was like this summer day, and I was walking past this bodega, and that's a deli for.
We don't know that. Yeah, right.
I did Rosetta Stone, and these kids they're like start throwing pennies at me, and I didn't even know that was like a. I was confused because they looked really mad, but I was like, "This is awesome!"
Hey, free money.
Well seen in Goonies.
Hey, they like me. They really like me.
Yeah, no, I dealt with total anti-Semitism in Rockville Center. They have that golf club and beach clubs where they're like, I'd have to change my last name so they didn't know I was Jewish. It's like the real deal.
So how do you end up in stand-up comedy if you didn't fantasize about it?
I was a problem child. Teacher's worst nightmare and class clown were like my little awards.
Oh, really? Were you really a bad kid?
Yeah, I had Saturday detention every single week.
Really?
Yeah, like Breakfast Club, Saturday
What would you
detention.
do in school that was so bad?
I was a huge wise ass. I would say the funniest thing I could think of. Like I just liked making myself laugh and making people uncomfortable.
Right.
I would always and I never saw the teachers as like these untouchable authorities.
Wow.
I'd be like, listen, Gil, I'm really bloated today. I
can't be in your gym class.
Yeah, I was like, I know that you go home and you black out and you call hookers. Like, do I have to pretend because you're wearing a suit that I should respect? I just couldn't.
Wow, so you were disrespectful. Did you go to college?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, no, I wasn't disrespectful to the teachers that like treated you like a human being.
Right.
But the people who like just have personality disorders who take it out on kids. I like justice.
Are men really intimidated by you because
That's
you're?
what I tell myself.
No, seriously, are they? Do you have a boyfriend?
No, I'm
You
single.
don't. You
Yeah.
broke up recently?
Yep.
Were you dating the guy who was on the roast
Yeah.
with you?
Yeah, we were together for 2
Which
years.
guy? Oh, that guy?
Anthony, yeah. He's great.
The guy whose
it
name
wasn't
you
bad.
didn't know.
Yeah,
Right.
like Vandersloot. Well, he has a rapey quality about him. I think that's why I was attracted to him. I always like guys that look like they could play.
Is it weird to
rapists
date
and Law &
another?
Order.
Is it weird to date another comedian?
It
is he
wasn't weird.
competitive?
We were never competitive. Luckily, we were both doing pretty well.
Right.
But
Who's
I
a
mean,
better comedian, you or him?
Oh, me.
Right.
Come on, let's be
Clearly.
honest.
You're not going to date somebody better than
No,
you.
no. He's a great comic. He
Yeah.
really is. Yeah, I would love to be like, he's never gonna make it, but I think he's gonna.
So why'd you break up with him? Seemed like a happy couple, right?
We were good. It was just. We wanted way different things. I would have loved for us to have stayed together.
What'd you want? Marriage and everything?
No.
What
no.
what different things do you want?
I already have a ring. The Nuva ring. What was it? It was just, we're both on the road so much, and I was like down to try and make it work, and he like wasn't able to give as much as I needed, I guess.
Like what did you need?
A text message once in a while.
Like once a week at least?
Acknowledge me when you're not here.
Well, yeah, no. By the end, it was like I'd be like, "Can you text me after shows?" Because we're both alone in hotel rooms and miserable. And it was like a parody of a guy like on a sick. Like he was like, "You're suffocating me," and I was like, "What? Am I a waitress you banged in Fresno?"
Hey, don't I know you?
Yeah. So like he, he's
He
young.
wasn't for that.
No, but I'm excited. I'm
How old are
excited to
you?
be single. 30,
30, and how old's he?
33,
Yeah,
32.
do you think he was banging other chicks on the side, maybe?
Not that I know of.
Right.
I don't think so. Like
But when a
I've
guy
seen
doesn't-
girls like girls want him. They throw them in front of me.
But when a guy doesn't text you, like he's on the
You
road,
think
you're
he's
on the road,
busy.
and he doesn't text you for like 2 days.
Right.
I mean,
I wasn't even worried about that.
Wow.
Seriously, that's not why because it doesn't matter. I was like, I wasn't like, go cheat on me. I wasn't like, demi moi. I was like, I hope you don't cheat on me. If you do, I hope I never know about it. And don't like catch any new disease.
Right. Be
Let's just
safe.
keep the ones we have already.
Right.
Let's harness those. But yeah, I don't think so. He's not. I thought he would be the type to be like that, but he like gets too drunk. I think that's what it is. I'm like, no, he won't be able to do anything anyway.
I mean,
but
you
I wasn't
clearly-
worried about that. I just wanted a friend, like my best friend, to be like, yeah, the MC sucks, and just talk.
You clearly are a funny person. Did
Thanks.
it kill you inside when you don't win America's funniest comedian?
No, I couldn't believe I was on there. I mean, 3 years, under 3 years I've been doing it. And the other guys had all been doing it 15, 20 years. And I'm just like every step of the way, my like sort of reality character on that show was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Who won that year?
John Reap.
John Rape?
John Rape. John Sodomy? Do
John
you know
Rape.
him?
Who is this? John who?
Yeah,
John
he's like kind of a
Rape.
blue-collar kind of guy.
I see.
Yeah.
So he won,
Mhm.
and you didn't feel, oh, I'm not a funny person, I'm giving up the business.
No, I got fourth. I was like, oh my God, this is it. I broke up with my boyfriend at the time. I was like, I'm going on the road.
What were you doing before?
Sorting mail and bartending.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you, so now you're single. How long you been single?
3 weeks.
You date anyone yet? Have
No.
you fucked anyone new?
No. We broke up one time about a year and a half ago, and I was like, all right, like maybe I'm
on.
still like I was in college. Somebody needs this.
Right.
And I went out and I was like, and I met a guy.
Where'd you
and
meet him? At a bar?
At a bar.
Right.
I met a guy, and I didn't like. I just thought he was really hot. I was wasted. That night, I was like, oh my God, he looks like the Twilight guy, like Robert Pattinson.
Oh,
you know,
that's a handsome guy.
In the morning, I'm like, you look like fucking Governor Patterson. Like he was not cute in the morning. And I'd never dealt with an uncircumcised penis before.
Oh, he
which
was
is-
uncircumcised.
He was uncircumcised. And
What was he, European?
He was French.
Ah,
I didn't even
French.
know he was French. I thought we were both just like faking the accent, you know. But like, I really realized like that men don't warn you; they just like roll it out, you know.
Yeah.
And so I had to become an award-winning actress. I'm like, oh no, that's totally cool. I'm like, Mom, can you come pick me up?
I got into something here.
Because men don't ever like tell you what you're about to deal with. You know,
never saw an uncircumcised penis in your... I don't
No.
think I've ever seen one, except for Sal, who whips
I've
it
never
out
even
every
seen
minute.
them in porn. Like I was like, what is that? Are we having a pillow fight? Like, why is the gnome
Something's
from
wrong with
Travelocity
you.
in your underpants?
Yeah.
Like
Was it
I was
gross?
thrown.
Like, did it smell or something?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
It did.
It was gross.
So when did you blow him?
No.
No. So what did you like start giving him a hand job kind of thing?
I tried, but it was like an ice cream cone had melted in my hand. I felt like a magician with the scarves, just pulling. I was just like, get me out of here, you know?
Right.
But he was like, the French guys are different. Like he didn't expect anything. He like couldn't believe that this was happening, and he was really sensual, and he started to pick me up. You know, like when we're kissing, and then I think he realized that he was in over his head. I kind of got planted back down. I'm like trying to feel sexy, and he's like winded from trying to hoist me. But we were like, he gave up like immediately because he's French.
Right.
And
we know how they are.
You know how that goes.
Right.
But I left in the middle. I really did. Yeah, but it wasn't because of like I was like, all right, like it's your penis is making me ill, the thought of it, but like this little gnome, but it was.
Was it a big penis?
It was fine. It was totally acceptable.
And so you pulled back, and you saw like there was a whole different vibe
I
to it.
threw the skin over my shoulder
Right.
like a team player.
And so then he put it inside of you.
He put on a condom. He put it inside me, and then we had to stop after like a second.
Why?
Because something was wrong with the condom, and he was fixing it, and I was looking at him, and he was like, "Well, don't look at me." But he was like, "Well, don't," and I was like, "Ew," and I was like, "You know what? I'm sad all of a sudden. I miss my boyfriend. I'm gonna leave," which you can do as a girl.
Yeah.
Like if a guy's like, "You know what?" You're like,
I mean, that's so. Do you ever feel as a girl like sometimes you have to say to the guy, "Okay, he was in me already. I should let him finish. So let him fuck me a little bit longer. I mean, we went this far."
I felt no responsibility to
Good for you.
for this guy to achieve orgasm.
You're very healthy.
When I was younger, I had a guy. I met a guy in Montana when I was like 19, and I was like, oh, he was so hot there. He was like a mountain climber.
Montana hot.
Montana.
Muscular.
He came and visited me in New York. Doesn't translate. It's
like when you get that moo when you go to Hawaii.
Yeah,
you
you're
can't
like,
wear it when you come
cannot
home.
rock it when you're back at home. Yeah, so I learned that the hard way. But I was like 19, and he flew all the way here. So I got myself drunk enough to sleep with him.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he flew so far. But now I'm older. I'm like, you can always get out of fucking someone.
What is
Unless
it that
it's Tyson.
What is it that it doesn't work? I mean, it's kind of like yeah, he's out of his environment.
Yeah.
He's hot there. He doesn't fit in with my friends. That kind of thing.
Well, it was more than that. He was like pointing out gay people.
Oh, I see.
And he was.
Hey, there's a gay.
Oh, this is really New York.
Yeah. You know, when you're in the mountains and all you're seeing is the sky, and he was like in a Dave Matthews cover band. I was 19, okay? I'm 19 years old. And but in retrospect, like, he was such a dirtbag. Like, he just wanted to.
Hey, wait a second. Here's the French guy who fucked her. We just found him.
my God.
Oh, he's on the
I would
phone.
be
What was
so
it like when you were?
terrified.
What were you like? Did you enjoy having sex with Amy?
Oh, my God.
It would have been nice to have a little sex with her.
You were having sex with her.
I was trying to have sex with her.
Yeah, so
This is sounding like
Feeling my
Borat.
foreskin over her shoulder.
This is not sounding
with
French.
the condom?
Oh, I don't know. The condom was grossed out too.
Was your foreskin?
Pretend it was upholstery. Use your imagination. You're a comedian.
Oh my God, flawless French accent.
Thank you. That's
Wow.
I trained him myself.
You're a dialect coach. I
That's
had no
right.
idea.
So you were a bad kid
Yeah.
who got in trouble at school, and then you make the switch to become a comedian somehow.
Yeah.
First time you get on stage, a disaster, I imagine. Where do you go to become a comedian?
I went to Gotham Comedy Club.
Yeah.
It used to be on a different street. It was like small, and I just walked by. I'd done theater, like I majored in theater,
Right.
so I didn't have to get over stage fright. But I
Where'd you go to college?
Towson University.
Where the hell
outside
is that?
Baltimore.
Maryland.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Maryland. Yeah. I
Acting center of the world.
Oh God!
Yes.
Everybody
That
comes out
school
of
has
Towson.
churned out every
I think
great
Meryl
artist.
Streep, Jack Nicholson,
Right.
Marlon
They don't
Brando.
I think
talk about
Brando.
it.
He would
Brando.
come back
Talk
and
about it,
have
but
a
they
couple
all went
master
there.
classes. Yeah.
So you went there,
Charles Dutton, guys. Anybody?
Oh, boy.
Rock.
and then you got up on stage,
Yeah, I tried it
and you killed. I bet the first time.
the first time. Yeah.
Did you have material when you got up on stage?
I walked past Gotham and it said, if you bring 4 people, you can get on stage. So I called, I'm from not far away. So I called people, they came in, and I wrote, horrible jokes and delivered them like I was Seinfeld.
Yeah. What was the first joke that you ever told? Do you know?
Yes.
What is it?
Oh, God. It was about, when you're on the bus in the city, they have these things that go across town, you guys, that carry people, buses. You'll never have to worry about it. But
Yeah, I heard
when you're on the bus, if you feel it like the tire deflate. It means like a person's getting on that's all jacked up. And it's like some woman like who comes on and her like there's like things living in her legs. I talked about that, and I talked about skywriting and how skywriting annoyed me because it always faded. And I had like a little arc to the set because I was like, so this summer if you're going to propose to somebody, guys, it was like it was horrible.
Was your delivery all wrong? Was it just like...
I had like some sense of timing, but
Right.
I have a tape of it, and it's the most. I would rather watch my parents have sex than watch myself do that again.
Did your family say to you, listen, you're destroying your life. This is ridiculous.
No.
You don't know what you're doing.
My mom was like, when are you headlining the Apollo? You
Wow.
are. She inflated my sense of self my whole life. Like I thought I was a model. Like I walked,
Right.
then you get old enough, the kids start getting mean. But
Right.
I walked in the first day of middle school, and I was like, "Who wants it?"
Because she convinced you were the best looking girl ever.
She convinced me. She was like, "You're an angel. You sparkle." And I was like, "Look what you made,
Mom.
Oh,
So
I
is
thought
that
it was
bad
amazing.
parenting? Can some parents go overboard in inflating their kids so that they're not prepared for the world?
Well, I feel like I'm glad she did that.
Yeah.
There's nothing that can prepare you for I mean, kids are so mean. Like they were so mean. So you're gonna, find reality sooner
Right,
or
it's
later.
there.
But
was
yeah.
your mom in shock whenever you did something bad because she was so convinced you were an angel?
Yeah, she would be like you. When I was in 6th grade, I bit a girl. She cut me in line, and it was like the day they had steakums at the cafeteria, which I found out later is just like not at all meat.
Yeah.
But this girl cut me, and I didn't really bite her. I just like scared her.
Right.
So they call my mom, and they're like, "Amy bit someone." She's like, "You have the wrong number." And I'm like, "Mom, I was just trying to scare her."
But your mother was a pushover. Hey, you
Yeah.
have a funny story. You went to Great Adventure one time, or one of those places, and you were
Yes.
waiting in line for a very long
yes.
time.
I went to Great Adventure,
Right.
and I don't like amusement parks. I think
Right.
they're horrifying. But I went to Great Adventure, and I was with this family, and they were intense about Great Adventure. They brought us. We had to go there at 6 a.m. so we could go through the stupid safari. We saw like one thing that might have been a monkey,
Right.
but I think it was just like a stuffed animal. It was like a pigeon wearing ears, and then we waited for the Scream Machine, and there's a special line where you can wait to sit in the front seat because that's the best seat because you look like you're going to die.
Right.
So we wait for hours, and then it's our turn to sit in the front. And who gets to cut the whole line and take our seat? Robin. Robin cut us.
Robin
on the Scream
Quivers.
Machine. Robin Quivers. You cut us.
Yeah, you
Kind of a
evidently.
human being. And we're all going, Robin. Robin. We've been
Did she
waiting.
get booed?
No, everyone was really excited to see her. She knew everyone loves her. She smiles, and everyone's
Great
like,
Adventure was a sponsor of ours. I remember this.
Right.
And because if you were a VIP, so to
Yeah.
speak, you got to cut in
Well,
front
they
of the
had
line.
somebody bring me around
Yeah.
to every ride.
Right. So, you don't
It
really.
was way more exciting to see you than it was. No one was pissed. Everyone was like,
Well, it's funny because they were a sponsor of ours. So Gary gets told, you can go to Great Adventure. You'll be able to cut in line.
Yeah.
He brings his wife, his 2 kids. They go. He cuts right in the line. He said he got booed so badly. And people started taunting him in front of it and his children and everything
In front of
because
his children.
well, in front of his, they were taunting the kids too because you know what, people had waited in line a really long time,
Right.
And all of a sudden, look who's here,
Look
Gary.
who's here.
Fa- fa-
Money
Fooey.
bags.
Yeah,
Fooey.
money
No, well, he doesn't have that
He said it
smile.
was
He doesn't
so
have Robin's.
bad.
You know what it was? It was. I realize now, especially hearing Amy's story.
Yeah.
Like the woman who brought us around, she said, "Oh, I had Chris Rock last week and everything." So I figure if you're going to get cut, you expect Chris Rock to walk
Yeah.
up. You see
Yeah.
me,
Not Baba Booey.
like what the fuck?
What a disappointment.
Yeah. So you were, I was reading notes on you. You were a
Yeah.
really bad person because you used to shoplift. You'd get into big trouble.
Wow.
God, did I say that in my interview?
Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
I got arrested a couple times.
She got arrested a
I
couple
did
of
You're
times.
lucky not to be in prison.
That
What
is correct.
this?
That is
Every
correct.
kid goes through a shoplifting stage. I
Not
went,
like me.
But did you? I mean, every kid doesn't get caught.
Yeah, well, I was, it was grand larceny. You shoplifted?
Oh my God! All of my friends. My mother did not like my friends. Now I realize why.
They are bad friends.
They would they would say we're going to go to Roosevelt Field and we're going to have a shoplifting spree. And I would be in such a nervous panic. I go, well, I want to go along with the group. I
Yeah.
want to be a part of this. And they were all terrific at it. I had a friend who could hide whole record albums. There was no CDs. It was record albums underneath his coat.
Oh, my God.
Another friend would go into like a Barnes & Noble type bookstore and steal every book, hardcover, softcover, everything. And it was sort of like a competition. So they bring me along. I'm sweating bullets. I don't want to steal anything. I have this. I'd never stolen anything in my life.
Yeah.
I walk into Macy's. And I saw tie tacks. Now, I don't wear ties. I'm a little kid.
What are you going to do with that?
What do you need a tie?
But I wanted to steal something so I could be in with the
Look,
crowd.
guys, yeah.
And so I swiped a tie tack. I stuck it in my pocket. I was shitting in my pants. I came out with this tie tack like I had just won the lottery.
Right.
I remember bringing it home and feeling horribly. But the thing that saved me was I brought my cousin with me, and they wanted him to shoplift, and I felt in charge of him. And I said, we're going home. I don't want anything bad. I went home. Thank God. All my friends got caught. And they brought the police in. They were involved in everything. But these guys couldn't
They were
really,
trailing them.
I don't know what happened, but somebody got caught in the store, and then that was it, and then it was all over for them. What was your story?
You got caught?
I got caught. Well, the first time I got arrested, I was out. I think it was like a Junior Olympic. Like I played volleyball, and we were in San Jose, and it was something. My mom was the chaperone of this tournament, and we were going around, and I was just like stealing whatever, like candles, shot glasses, nothing like that I would ever use.
All junk that you'll never need.
Garbage. And I didn't get caught. The other girls got caught. And they said, if anyone else did, fess up. And I'm like, we're a team, right, guys? Okay. I'm like, let's all tell them. I'm like, I did it. Now you guys go. And they're all like,
oh,
yeah, that's all you. Yeah. So I got in trouble. I got benched the whole tournament, knee pads around the ankles. My mom is just the chaperone, just staring at me. I think she still thought she probably didn't do it. Somebody probably planted something on her. But then the time I got arrested, bad. I want to tell you I was like 14, but it was I was like 21.
Oh.
I was like 20 years old.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was. I was at Bloomingdale's and with my.
Did you have a problem? Do you think you're a kleptomaniac?
Your face was extended.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
are.
I had been shoplifting for a long time.
So some people actually have like a problem. Like you're not taking
can't go
stuff
into a store without it.
You're not taking stuff you need necessarily. It's just the idea, the thrill of it.
Yeah, no, I mean, isn't it sad? Like I'll read some police blotter when I'm in some city, and it's all like this 90-year-old woman was stealing milk to feed her grandson. I'm like, I already have that pinstripe pantsuit, but why don't I get another one? I was like really well dressed. It was college. I was like stealing a lot of nice clothes, but I figured out a way I could return the clothes and get cash.
Oh no!
Oh, wow.
Yes, so I was into it, but it wasn't about what I could get very much. It was the adrenaline.
Did you go to a psychiatrist about this?
Totally a rush.
Did you go to a psychiatrist about this?
Not about this specifically. I mean, I've gone to many psychiatrists.
Stopped? Do you?
Oh yeah, no.
You're not going to take our. You're not going to
it.
take our little tchotchkes over there, are you?
No, I mean, they're gorgeous. They're really everything in this room looks amazing.
So you
no,
got
I don't have a
caught?
problem stealing things.
Right.
It was only from like
So who
big
caught you?
places. Bloomingdale's.
Bloomingdale's got you.
They're real. Beware, they're really tough.
And they took you down and they arrested you and the whole thing?
Yeah, and
Wow.
it was with my cousin who is
Senator Chuck Schumer.
he's not my uncle.
What is he?
I don't know. He's like my dad's cousin.
Oh, so you don't really know him.
We know each other.
Right. Does he
if we
root
saw
for
each
you?
other, I think he hopes that I probably get hit by a train so my name can stop appearing. Yeah, it's never good press for me.
Don't you think the family is proud of you? Don't you think Chuck Schumer even says, "Hey, you know who my cousin is"?
I don't know what
it
she
depends
is, but
on the
we're
thing.
related.
Right.
Like I think they thought Last Comic Standing was exciting, and being here, they'll be super excited about. But other things, like they don't really. Like I was trying to explain to my dad what a roast was, and he was like, "Well, maybe you shouldn't do that." You know, I was like, "Maybe not."
What does your dad do for a living?
He mostly just shits himself. He has MS. He lives in a hospital.
Oh,
but it's really
dear.
somehow not sad because he still thinks he's like gorgeous. Like he's trying to get me to help him set up a Match.com profile.
Wow.
Right.
I'm like, what do you want me to write? Like shits himself and has no memory. He's like, that's perfect.
So your parents are divorced?
Yeah.
And he has MS.
Yeah, but he's like happy. It's the weirdest. He's fine.
You
He's
don't
totally
feel sad
fine.
about any of this?
No, I mean, if I really think about it, it's so like I have seen my father drop heat in front of me at LaGuardia. It was the worst. I was going to spend the summer in Montana with my brother, and he was like, it was when you could still walk people to the gate of their
Right.
plane. And my dad was like, I'm going to walk you to the gate. Like, there were a lot of, we knew it was getting worse. So we like went surfing for the last time together. Like,
Right.
we, all these last things. And
That's
that
sad.
was, it was, that was
I'm
really
gonna cry.
sad. Do it, please. I
Here,
want you
cry
to
now. Let's see it.
No,
She's a
but-
bullshit artist. She's not crying. Right.
Yeah, she's like, I'm going to cry. Can I have another latte?
Yeah.
Let me wipe my
that's-
tears with this
That's very
100.
heavy to go surfing with your father for the last time.
That was really heavy.
Are you waiting for the big call from Saturday Night Live or something? Like, did you ever fantasize about being on there?
Oh, yeah.
Did you audition?
No, I've been asked to audition. I'm like, trying to get better, and I'm an actor, but I don't really do characters. But I'm not like, my goals change so much that I want to keep getting better at stand up,
Right.
and I'm getting more acting work the past couple years. It's been really good.
In other words, you still enjoy doing stand-up. A lot of people, like I saw Eddie Murphy on David Letterman, who I think is one of the most brilliant stand-ups. And he was
Yeah.
like, at 27, I was done with it. That's it. I never wanted to do it again.
I can't imagine that. I mean, that would be fine if that ever happens, but I can't wait to
You
get on
love
stage
it.
every night.
And
Yeah. But
'cause
it
some
sucks
guys
traveling. I mean,
Yeah.
everything other than the actual stage time is awful. Like, it's really depressing.
Especially for a girl, because like guys at least go on the road and get
They'll
laid a
get
lot.
drunk, they'll get laid. After the show, I'm like, I hope no one says anything too mean to me. I'm like selling my CDs. I'm like,
Right.
everyone has something. They'll be like, they'll think it's a compliment, and I'm like, they'll be like, you're a lot thinner in person, and I'm like,
God.
did you think that I wasn't going to hear that? Like, well, on TV, you're a fucking beast. You
Do
know?
guys hit on you at all at these
a
clubs?
tiny bit,
A
but they
little
don't
bit.
do it well. You
Yeah.
know, they'll like come up and try and like make a joke. I would love to like meet a guy and be like, let's check out the Best Western.
You're a successful stand-up comedian. Can you make a good living doing it nowadays, or is like income gone down because everyone's sort of hurting?
The economy.
No, I'm in a good position. I'm not rich. I live in a studio and ride my bike everywhere.
What
but,
what kind of living can a stand-up comic who's really headlining now and doing a good
like headlining now on TV a little bit?
Yeah.
You can make 100.
Can you make 200?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So you could have a good year, make 200 grand.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
And you travel. How many days a week you got to travel?
I'm usually on the road 4 days a week.
Okay.
I'm trying to do it less. I'm trying to only go out maybe 1 or 2 weeks a month.
Right.
But
the bigger you get, if
Yeah.
you do a couple more of these Comedy Central
and
things,
you get to do a theater.
right, and
You-
then
yeah.
suddenly the world is your oyster.
Oh, you have a private jet. There is
Right.
no road. You
There
get
is-
to fly home,
That's
sleep in
right.
your own bed.
You'll never drive
have
yourself
sex with
again.
your own wife.
So what's the goal? You want to be the world's greatest stand-up?
No.
You just want to make a living being a stand-up. You want to get more acting work.
Yeah, I want to develop. I want to make.
What's the best acting job you've had?
I just did a movie with Steve Carell.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, it's called Seeking a Friend for the End of the World.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, and I'm developing a show with Comedy Central, and CBS just bought a pilot.
Oh, very
yeah,
nice.
I'm making moves, and I'm going to be on this show that's on Adult Swim called Delocated, and it's the funniest show I've ever seen.
So this is it for you. You're on your way.
I'm trying. I want to just what do you think? Don't you just have to keep making it interesting and fun for yourself?
Yes, you do. You
Right?
do. Yeah,
That's it.
otherwise you go insane. Let's go to Rick. We're on with Amy Schumer. Her album Cutting is available now on iTunes. Are you referring to the fact that you cut yourself or
That
something?
my cousin did. Yeah, my sister did.
Your sister was a cutter?
Well, that's what the joke is on the album.
Oh, that's funny. What?
Yeah, well, the way I get off stage is I say, I'll leave you with this. My little sister, used to cut herself. And then I put the mic in the mic stand and I leave.
And that's the joke.
That's the end of my set. After I spend an hour with these people, I leave them with nothing.
Is that a reality or is that a joke?
It's a joke.
It's a joke. I'm not clear, but I won't press you.
No,
on that.
my sister's a school psychologist doing really well.
I see. Okay,
Yeah.
very good. All right. Well, that's what happens. If you do cut yourself, you become a psychologist. Rick, go ahead in Pittsburgh.
Hey, thanks, King. Amy, were you spanked growing up, and do you think you still deserve a spanking for all that shoplifting you did?
Well, thank you for asking that.
All right, that's
Richard.
but it is an interesting question. You know
I
what?
was spanked growing up.
And fully nude?
Yeah, and once in a while a finger would slip in, and I'd be like, "Wait, is this punishment or not?"
Who was spanking you? Your
Mom
dad?
spanked me.
Your
Dad
mom.
spanked me once because Mom made him, and he cried the whole time.
But they didn't
which
make
was
you,
really awkward.
Did they make you pull down your pants and get spanked?
I don't remember being ass out. Luckily, I was at an age where but I totally had it coming. If they hadn't spanked me,
She remembers.
I
what
loved
about
every
that sexual?
second of it.
Because I find you a very intelligent woman,
Thank
very bright, sexy woman. But I could see where a guy gets intimidated because let's say we get in bed and then I want to spank you or
Yeah.
something like that. I would think, oh, she's going to think this is funny. She's going to make jokes about it. I mean,
I
the
am
guys,
no jokes in the bedroom.
you are able to
I am
turn it
dirty, and I am no jokes in the
off.
bedroom.
What does it mean you're dirty?
I like having fun in
Not
bed.
anal.
I've never had
You
anal.
talk dirty?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, you do?
I like being talked to. I like talking. But I dated a guy.
Yeah.
The last guy I dated, he needed, like, the sex got really weird really fast. Which I guess it has to. Because if you don't enter that stuff in early, like, after 5 years and you're like,
It's hard to put
will
it
you
in,
wear this
yeah.
rice patty hat? You'll be like, where's this coming from? But, so it got to a place where he wanted to watch me watch porn every time, and he needed me to talk constantly about things I'd done.
Oh.
So at a certain point, like, I ran out of shit. Like, I started lying, and then he
Because
started.
you're not that sexually experienced. I mean,
Well,
there's only so many experiences.
There's
you
only
got.
so much I've done.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm like making up stories. And then he started like fact checking. He'd be like, wait, you said, I'm like, fuck you. I haven't had a new story for like a year.
Right.
It was exhausting.
Tell me the time that girl came on to you.
Yeah.
And,
I'm like,
right.
do you really think any of this happened?
At
It's like
some
whenever I
point-
start dating a guy, I always pretend like maybe I'm like, I don't know, I've thought about a threesome, but. And then 6 months in, I'm like, I'm not doing that.
At
That's
some
weird.
point, I mean, at some point, it
You just got to like having sex,
it can
right?
get it can get exactly.
Yeah,
it can get
like, what about
weird.
just fucking each other?
Yeah, doesn't it
What
feel
happened
good
to-
enough being
What
inside of
happened
me?
to penetration?
Yeah.
Come
Do you need
on.
a lot of foreplay?
Not a lot.
Right.
I like
If a guy spanks you, you don't think that's weird though, right? You're
No.
okay with you're down with it.
I'm more than down with it.
Right. Oral
Yeah.
sex okay with you both ways?
Totally.
You're all right with
Huge fan.
Unless you're not circumcised.
Yeah, in which case, get out of here.
it. Gunplay.
Gunplay,
squeak-
only on
you-
the high holy days.
Shoot you in the foot, maybe, with my gun? All right. Let's go to Bill. Bill says he wants to say hi to Amy Schumer, the new album Cutting, available on iTunes. Go ahead, Bill.
Hey, Howard. Hey, now.
Hey, now.
Hey, Amy. How you doing?
Hi, Bill.
I really love you.
Thank you.
All right, I don't think we're going anywhere with this. Nick, let's go to Nick in Charleston, West Virginia. Go ahead.
Hey, Howard, I just want to get your opinion. Don't you think she's 10 times hotter and funnier than Whitney Cummings?
Well, what about that? Are you, because you...
Are
sort
you
of,
hotter
because,
than Whitney?
Yeah, first of all, yeah.
No.
Are you hotter than Whitney Cummings?
That's a definitive no.
Are you friends with Whitney Cummings?
Yeah.
Okay. I like Whitney very much.
Me too.
Now, because you're a female comic, it's almost like, Eddie Murphy was talking about this. He was the black comic for a while. He was like, there was no room for two.
Yeah.
It's like you sat in, Whitney wasn't on the comedy roast. Now, are you being compared to Whitney now? Is it like a competition?
I haven't, no one has said that to me. But I think there's room for all of us, for real.
I would think so.
And I don't know how other people feel, but when I see a funny woman, I'm like, yes, like, trust me, I don't want to be the one. I think women are hilarious. So at Whitney, there's no sense of competition.
Whitney's
yeah.
very funny.
She's motivated. Like,
Are you a
she's
Sarah
great.
Silverman fan?
Yeah, totally.
Are you a Sandra Bernhard fan?
Yes.
You like you root for other comics.
Hell yeah.
Rosie
Absolutely.
O'Donnell, you enjoy
I
her?
do.
Yeah.
I do. No,
Ellen
you're,
DeGeneres, you like her?
Yeah.
You do. So you like,
she had me on her show. I was the first female comic. She had me on her show.
do you know her personally?
Just from her,
Just
like
from,
her
just
getting
from
me
the
on the show. Yeah.
All right. Let's go to... Yeah.
Howard, can I throw in one more thing?
Yes.
Whitney, I'm sorry, Whitney. Amy.
You can call me whatever you want, Bill. Oh, Bill's gone.
Nick,
This is West Virginia.
Nick, go ahead.
I have masturbated to those pictures of you online many times.
What pictures?
Thank you.
What pictures?
I
are-
posed naked in Cosmo.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
What am I going to...
Sexiest thing I've ever seen.
Is that
Thank
true?
you. Yeah.
You were nude?
Yeah,
No hang-ups,
I shot
huh?
at the Comedy Cellar.
You have big breasts now. I'm
Thanks.
looking. What are you, like a C?
Yeah.
I'm going to say you're a C cup. No inhibition about that.
No, I'm like, I better do it now while everything is still kind of where it's supposed to be.
Did anybody say to you, like an agent or anything, like, listen, Amy, don't do this?
Yeah, and I was like, bye.
And
I'm doing this.
And what'd your mom say about this?
She was at the shoot.
She was there.
She was watching the door. We did it at the Comedy Cellar, and she was making sure no beer deliveries came in while I was...
You showed the vagina?
No.
Just the titties?
Yeah.
What'd you do with the
I was
vagina?
just in underwear. I mean,
Panties.
they were like, "Will you take off your panties?" And I was like, "Okay." And my mom was like, "No, no."
No, you
I was
pay for
like,
that.
"Oh, yeah." I was like, "Okay."
No kidding.
No, yeah.
I have to see this.
Check it out.
Oh, you are free.
Hey, thanks, Howard.
Why did you bring your mom to a nude shoot?
I don't know. I think, well,
I wouldn't feel sexy in front of my mom.
I didn't mind it. I guess that is pretty boundaryless and disgusting, but I felt fine. Because it wasn't about, it's Cosmo, so, I mean, I wanted to feel sexy, but
Was
it was
your mom
more,
naked too, just to support
everyone
you?
was naked. Yeah,
Beautiful,
her
yeah.
boobs were on the floor, running around.
Wow.
No, it was,
Oh, there it is.
there's one of them.
Look at you, naked. Oh.
Smug over the shoulder shot. Yeah, it was like about the article I wrote to go along with it. They gave me like 6 pages. Like they've been very cool to me. Kate White, the editor in chief, there is the coolest woman ever.
You look so cute there.
Thank you. Yeah, they chose like a little cute one. I was like, can we use the ones where I look dirty? And they were like, no.
But no nips. You don't see any nipple.
No. Well, I have some. I don't know if there are any online where you see nipple, but there were some where you saw more.
Yeah, and you have a good body image. In other words, you don't sit there all day like these women and obsess. Oh, I've got to lose 5 pounds. I got to gain 10 pounds.
No.
You're not freaked out.
I
by
mean,
that.
I'll have days where I'm like, oh my God, what happened? But I feel like sexy. I feel like good. I work
Right.
out. I take care of myself.
When
I'm
you
not,
date a guy, do you walk around the house nude?
Not over like not annoying. I'm not
You're
like
not
the
a
sign like
nudist?
opening
Okay.
pickles. But I'm naked a lot. I'm not hurrying to the bathroom covering myself up. I'm.
All right, Abe, go ahead. You're on the air. You're on with Amy Schumer, and then I'll let you out of here. We've kept you locked up for an hour. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Hey, Howard. Hey, now.
Hey, Abe.
Amy, just a question and a comment.
Okay.
Number one, what is it you do for a living? And number two, I'm looking forward to seeing you appear on a carton of milk.
Okay.
What
Thank
does that
you.
mean? That's an insult.
He's
He wants
insulting
me
her.
to be.
yes.
He wants me to be.
I saw
stolen.
you on the Charlie Sheen roast. I didn't think you were funny at all.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
You're-
She was so funny.
Oh, yeah. Her joke about...
What about her talking about her dad? How much darker does this get?
Oh, yeah, the joke that she made about Steve-O's buddy...
That was not a
you're
bad joke.
upset about that.
Well, let's talk about it. I
Go
mean,
ahead.
let's talk about it. What made you upset about me saying that joke? Let's talk
I
about
thought
it.
it was tasteless.
It hurt your feelings. You thought it was too
No, it
soon.
didn't hurt my feelings. I just really thought it was tasteless.
Okay, you're completely entitled to feel that way. I didn't say it with any malintent. I didn't think that it was going to hurt anyone's feelings, but I understand you feeling that way. That's okay.
Okay. I mean, I'll tell you that. You're cute as hell. I'd love to bang you.
Thank you.
Well,
that
hey,
means the
that's
world.
nice.
That's something.
That means the world.
By the way, I
Thank
should
you.
tell you, this guy is Anthony Jeselnik, the guy you date. Yeah, so go ahead, Pat. Pat, you're on
Hey, how you doing, Howard?
Hey, now.
Amy, you were on a roast a while ago, and you did a joke about leg braces. It was the funniest thing. And
Thanks.
What one
and
was
I think
that?
you're
Well, I
the
just
greatest
said-
comedian, and I'm glad you're getting, the recognition you deserve. And Howard, I love you, 20-year listener plus.
Thanks, Pat.
And thanks for getting me through every day.
All right,
Oh,
Pat. Thank you. What was the
What a
what was the
sweetheart.
joke
I just
that Pat's
said I
talking
said I
about?
wasn't a good-looking kid, but then the old story. I finally got the braces off of my legs, and yeah, that's it. That's it. But that's really nice.
Well, Amy, I wish you the best.
Thank you so
It was
much.
great having
Thank
you
you
here.
for having me here. This
the
is a
album is
dream.
called Cutting. I enjoyed your performance on Charlie Sheen Roast,
Thank
and I
you.
wanted to meet you, and I'm glad you came in. I think you're great.
Thank you.
Amy Schumer's album Cutting is available now on iTunes. Don't miss Amy November 5th at the Varsity Theater in Minneapolis. It's going to be a big show.
Well, there's a theater.
Big
All right.
show.
You sell your own merchandise after the show?
Yes, it's the worst.
Is that the most embarrassing part of being a comedian
unbelievable.
nowadays?
It's like the red light district.
In other words, you get off the
You're
show.
up on the stage.
I mean, you're on the stage, you're the big star, and then you what? You walk to the back of the club.
Peddling my wares.
And you
It's so
stand there-
humiliating.
Can you get someone to maybe do that for you, or
Yeah, but then then
what
it's-
items do you have that you sell?
Oh, I just sell a CD.
Just a CD, no
CD
T-shirts?
and my hypercolor T-shirts, my
Your clothing line?
boxers. Yeah, no, I've got
so
nothing
you
else.
do you have a booth? You set up a little
They'll
booth,
have like some table, and they'll just have my CDs there waiting for me,
and you'll sit there.
and I sign it. Yeah.
And do you bring change and things with you so you can?
I'm the worst.
Yeah.
Like when I did the last Comic Standing tour, I sold a CD that I would just burn on my computer, and I would sell it for $5. And sometimes I wouldn't have any more CDs, so I would sell like the cookies that they left in the green room. But
That's
no,
funny.
I'm not good at marketing myself.
Is it worth how much extra money can you make a night? Is it worth the humiliation of sitting there and having to sell your own CD?
I can make an extra $700 a weekend,
wow.
and that's a lot. That's a lot of money for me.
That's big money.
But sometimes, but it really doesn't feel worth it. It is a horrifying, embarrassing thing.
Do you bring your own credit card machine? I mean, how does it work financially? Like, how do you
No.
like? Let's say someone
I'm
buys.
standing there.
If someone buys, I don't know how much a CD is. How much is $20?
Yeah.
And they say, "Look, I have $100. Can you break it?"
I'll say no. Can you go to the bar? Sometimes
see.
people be like, I have to go to an ATM, and then they leave their date there with me, and they're like, so where do you go next? And I'm like, I want to kill myself.
Now you've got to
I wanna-
entertain this person.
It's because you've just expended so much energy. You know, you put so much of yourself into it. The last thing you want to do when you leave is that, so right after the show, I have to be
Also,
like tap dancing.
I would think, to build up your star quality, to see after you've killed on stage and you've done your thing, to be sitting there hawking your wares, so to speak.
It's not good.
Wouldn't it be good if the club could just provide someone for all the comics that would sell? I guess you can.
But then people feel like it's mean, and they want a picture, and they want to meet you. So it's like,
Right.
okay,
All right.
let me do that. These people came out, they spent their weekend night with me. But I don't know. Sometimes it wouldn't be as hard if people didn't have
Believe
all
me,
the backhanded compliments.
After my show, I stand in the Sirius lobby. I'm selling CDs too. Amy Schumer's album Cutting is available now on iTunes. And by the way, for all things Amy, go to amyschumer.com. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you
Amy.
so much.
That was fun.
Thank you so much.
I had a good time. I
Oh
hope you
man,
did.
so did I. Thank you
Great
so
meeting
much.
you.
Amazing meeting you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
a lot of fun.
Thanks a lot.
You're so funny.
Ooh, thank you.
I get the. I used to get the. Hey man, your teeth aren't that big, and I'd be like, thanks.
Yeah, you're like, oh wow, that's so nice.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Amy, I knew the whole time you were doing
knew I was
that
gonna say
great
that?
adventure story. I was only there twice. I was like, this is gonna be it.
But we were so excited. But I was just like, we were like, hey, what? Oh, we were excited, and we have the picture because we sat right behind you. So there's a picture of us with you on the screen
that's
machine.
hysterical.
Yeah, it was really
my
ridiculous.
Goodness. Well, you were great.
Thank
I love
you.
the roast
Thank
stuff.
you.
It was a pleasure to meet you.
You too. Thank you so
Okay.
much for having me.
Amy, well done
Right.
today.
Yeah, was it good?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, good.
Usually, you can sort of gauge it, I think, by how long you're in the studio for.
Oh, do some people go in and out?
Yeah.
But that was good though.
Yeah, that was nice.
Oh, good.
A nice slow roast, an hour.
An hour.
So really cooked in there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm glad that there was one caller that was mad because it was like, okay, good, so it's not all just fun and games. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you got the full Stern Show experience.
Yeah.
Now, why is coming here like the mecca for comedians? Because Howard's not a stand-up
that?
guy.
I think just because he's so honest, he doesn't blow any smoke. So, if he likes you, he really likes you. He doesn't need to pretend.
Right, so he's not shticky like some terrible comedian.
Yeah, he doesn't need anything from anybody. So it really comes just from a place of him enjoying what you do. So it's like the biggest compliment.
Cool. And I look forward to your next appearance, and hopefully we can talk more about uncircumcised Frenchmen.
Yeah, let's get back to that.
Yeah, I wanted to know more.
Let's get back to the rape.
Casey's on the phone. You remember Casey? He used to work here.
Oh, Casey Armstrong?
Yeah, Casey Armstrong. He's doing very well.
Always love to hear from Casey.
Yes, Casey.
Howard.
Hey, man.
Hey, brother. How you doing, man?
What's happening?
Hey, listen to me. I got this thing on demand. They put it on, like, the Cablevision.
Yeah.
And, you guys had an episode where all you guys took your shirts off, and I have made critiques on each one.
Did we do that? When did we do that?
When was that?
It must have been older.
No, it wasn't. It was after I left. It was. It must have been like a year ago or something like that. I don't know.
I don't remember that.
Didn't you leave
Hey, Robin,
like
how are
10
you?
years
You're
ago?
very sexy.
After he left. Yeah, okay, go ahead real quick because I got to get the news.
Okay, ready? All right, here we go. I'll do it quick. Howard, first of all, I'll start with positive, all right? You have a good back.
Right.
Your back is nice.
Thank you.
but you got cow nipples. You have huge nipples.
Me?
Yeah. Did you
No,
know
I
that?
don't. I have a nice chest.
Yeah, no, but your nipples are huge. They're like cow udders.
No, you got the wrong guy, man.
Well, dude, your nipples are big, and Sal has big nipples too.
Really? Gee, I never thought of myself
I
as big.
didn't think
I
about
always
that.
think of myself as a small nipple. Are you sure you were looking at me?
I'm positive.
Maybe my nipples don't photograph well.
They photograph big.
Yeah, because I kind of have small ones.
No, you have big nipples.
By the way, is Casey gay or what?
Yeah, what are you doing evaluating their bodies?
No guy ever looked at my nipples before.
and came away with that.
I might be a gay. I don't know. But, but I can tell you something. Fred is looking amazing.
Right.
No, he's jacked up. He's got he's got a great chest. He's got good arms.
Right.
Right. I mean, have you?
Wow.
He's like intimidating this guy.
This is so weird, this call, isn't it? This is a weird call, Casey, but go ahead.
No, it's a good call. He complimented me.
Well, yeah, okay, but still, it's weird.
But all right, I'm going through it. Richard, he actually has a good. He looks like a lumberjack. You know what I mean? But he has a huge gut.
No, he's super ripped
Yeah, he
now.
got thin.
He's thin and ripped.
No, he doesn't look that bad. Well, I guess it might have been a while ago.
Yeah, it
But
was.
Sal has a lot of fat deposits on the side of his chest,
Right.
and he has good vascularity in his shoulders.
Do you care, Robin?
This is ridiculous.
What the hell?
I gotta tell you, I'm as baffled as you.
Yeah, I'm freaked out, dude. Anybody else you want to talk about? Hey, man, how about the last time I saw you? You look bloated. So what's up with that?
Steroids?
Was it juice?
Yeah, man.
You still doing that?
Water.
You're still doing juice?
I'm 185 right now.
185 means you're big or small?
Dude, when you saw me, I was probably 230.
Oh, wow.
It's either that or AIDS. I'm not sure.
Anybody else? Any other guys you want to talk about, like Benji or anything?
Yeah,
Who else took their shirt off?
Cockstrong.
What?
He looks cockstrong.
Benji?
Yeah,
What
he
does
looks
that mean?
cockstrong. But he's like Cabby. Remember Cabby was big and he looked kind of intimidating, but it wasn't like he couldn't do nothing with it. Benji, he could do well, but he has small nipples.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm out of my mind, Howard.
I think so.
What happened to you?
Case, would I be
I don't
better
know,
with bigger
brother.
nipples?
I was talking about Jason. I like the guy. I'm a big fan of his. I think he's great, but I'm worried about the guy.
Right.
I mean, I'm really. I mean,
How are his nipples?
cholesterol. I got high cholesterol. Do you know that?
I didn't know that.
Are you okay?
No.
What's wrong?
Just had a little panic attack. All good.
You having a panic attack?
Yes.
What just happened?
I don't know. Hey, do you like Lamb of God?
What?
What?
Nice. Nice.
What?
I don't know. Hey.
What's going on, man?
Yikes.
You all right, man?
No.
What's going on?
What can we do?
Talk to me. Casey.
I'm on the Librium.
What are you on?
Librium.
Librium.
What is that?
It's a drug.
What does it do?
It's for the DTs.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, are you an alcoholic?
Oh yeah, you know that.
I didn't realize it was that bad. So when you get withdrawals, you
Where are you calling us from?
I'm from I'm watching my friend's dog.
you homeless?
No.
Oh.
And who put you on Librium?
The emergency room.
Wow.
God, this guy had the world by the balls.
How did you wind up in the You wound up in the emergency room so drunk?
Have you? No. It was days after. Have you ever seen Leaving Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I normally don't like Nicolas Cage, but he's amazing.
Is that your life?
Yes.
Are you getting any help? Are you talking to anyone?
I'm talking to you.
No, but I mean, are you talking to any psychiatrists or anything?
Yeah. I've been to about 20 of them.
Yeah. What do they say your problem is? Your dad?
There's a whole bunch of terms that they give.
You got problems. You got a diagnosis?
What they say, was it borderline?
Borderline schizo? Or just
They didn't say
borderline
borderline.
personality?
They say borderline.
Borderline personality.
And then bipolars.
Yeah.
And 8. Benji is cockstrong.
What does that mean?
I don't know. 8.
Jeez, Casey.
Casey, you ought to go on that drug Penisin.
That's like the what is that?
Penisin?
Penisin?
Yeah.
Nice, I like it. Hey.
So they went to the hospital. You get hallucinating when you try to withdraw from alcohol. Did you stop drinking?
No.
So you're drinking with the Librium.
I'm on the stuff and then I keep drinking.
Yeah. Wow. Dude.
What are you? I mean, thanks for calling.
Dude. Yeah, I got to go.
Dude.
Anything you want to promote real quick?
No, not at all. I'm actually going to L.A. in 2 days.
What?
I'm going back to L.A. in 2 days.
Where are you now?
I'm in New York.
Oh.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I'm back in New York.
Don't come in here.
You're not going to invite him down?
No.
Dude.
Hey, is Benji cockstrong? Case, is Benji cockstrong?
I think Benji is cockstrong. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Yeah.
And you have big nipples.
I do miss Casey. He was fun when he worked here.
He was amazing
Yeah.
and
But he just went crazy.
very, very concerned.
Yeah. Sorry to hear all these problems, dude. You had the world by the balls. You know.
So
This is one of the best looking guys ever.
Did the doctors put you on the Librium here?
What? I'm very happy.
Did you fuck any more trannies?
You know, that hurts, Howard. And not
That's
really
the
going to
only
respond
thing?
to that.
You're not?
Oh, jeez.
What is this coughing thing?
I don't know.
Do you still go to the gym even though you drink like a fish?
Yeah, dude, I'm ripped.
Really?
Have you got
185.
Are you talking to your mother? Have you seen her?
Love her.
Good. Okay.
Right.
And what does she say about all this?
Well, she does the best that she can, and, but I make my own decisions.
Sure. You're making some great decisions.
Hey, did I mention that Benji is cockstrong?
All right. Hey, listen, Case.
It's good to hear from you.
Good hearing from you, my man. Wait a second. David Arquette wants to talk to you, okay?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me make sure I don't lose you. Go ahead, David.
Hey.
Hey, now.
What's up? How are you, Casey?
Hi, David. How are you, sir?
I'm good, buddy.
By the way, everyone has to vote for David Arquette.
We voted for you last week.
Hey, thank you, guys.
Yeah, and is Courtney going to stay home this week?
No.
Yeah, Susan's hot, bro.
Hey, man, but I was just hearing you, and, sounds like you're going through a hard time.
I'm looking for a little bit of God's mercy.
Yeah, well, you're on the right track. I mean, you could do stuff to, get your stuff together. You just start facing some of the shit you're going through, really look at yourself. And there's ways of doing that, and there's places you could go to get some help.
Have you gone anywhere to get help, Casey?
Too many, yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's time to go again.
Do you understand that they put me on this shit like 20 years ago, right? It was it was new, and now they don't know how to get people off it.
Casey,
Yeah.
what do you do you primarily drink, or are you into coke and all that shit?
No, I have narcolepsy. You know what that is?
Yeah.
So they gave me Ritalin 20 years ago.
All right.
And
that's speed. Speed induces psychosis.
Yeah, I think it's kind of it might be what's happening now. But see, what happens is every time I go to rehab, they say you have to go cold turkey, and I won't do it because it's a horror and it's terrible. When I go to jail, that's what they do. It's the worst ever. I can't explain it.
How many times have you been in jail?
4 times.
4? And they make you go cold turkey, and what? You can't handle it?
Oh, dude, you have no idea. I can't explain to you how horrible it is.
So, but why do you go back on it once you go cold turkey and get through the horror of it?
But you can't because, look, I've been on it for 20 years, and the amount that I take, I should be dead.
How much Ritalin do you take a day?
It was 300 milligrams, now it's 200, and the overdose is 80, I believe.
Wow. Hey, David.
Yeah.
He's hardcore, huh?
Yeah, but a lot of that stuff is that people medicate so much to, I mean, some of that is necessary when you have certain conditions, but
David, what were you doing?
Maybe David, go on the get involved with his thing. As crazy as some people might think, he does have results with people that really want it. And
what, Dr. Drew?
Yeah, and a lot of that stuff is also not facing, not coming to terms with who you are and just getting real with yourself and answering some of the hard questions, forgiving yourself for some of the shit that you've done, sort of starting over, dealing with the past, cleaning up the past, and then going ahead. And
were you as bad as him, David?
I have different problems. I mean, everyone's got their own issues. But
you were primarily drinking, right?
Come on.
You were primarily drinking, right?
Primarily drinking, but when I was younger, I had drug problems, and when I had this last thing, I did ecstasy a couple times and mushrooms and shit like that.
Are you in any condition to really be giving Casey advice? I mean, you're sober and everything?
Oh yeah, I'm almost 10 months sober.
Okay. What do you think of that, Casey?
For me, it's like a real
No, I was sober.
What?
I was sober, and I hated it. It was worse than this.
What are you talking about?
He wants to be a drunk.
He never was sober. When were you sober?
I went to rehab. Don't you remember? I went there. I was sober for 4 months.
And you hated it?
I hated it. It was the worst possible thing ever.
Oh, my.
Did you do anything to try to face? See, part of it's you get all these feelings back, and it becomes really difficult, and then you have to get some sort of tools to be able to deal with those feelings.
You hear what he's saying, Casey? How much are you drinking a day?
Dude, you know what I want to do? I'm like a bottom. At one point,
you're a bottom. I knew it.
Always suspected. No.
with the gay stuff. For 1 minute, we're talking serious now.
Okay.
Yes. All right. We're joking.
Just tell me, how much are you drinking a day?
About 20 to 30 shots.
A day?
Yep.
20 to 30 shots a day. David, did you drink that much?
Not really, no.
Wow. Casey's hardcore, huh?
Yeah.
And you'll never see me drunk, ever.
Congratulations. I mean, 20, 30 shots a day, and they never see you drunk.
You'll never see you drunk. We see you drunk.
You're one of the greatest alcoholics of all time.
Bukowski said everything shits and then it dies. So what do you think of that?
I think you're fucked. I think you got to get into some rehab, dude. That's what David's giving you good advice.
And when you don't just get sober, as David says, you have to start working on all the things that make you want to get drunk.
Yeah, that's the thing. You do a lot of this stuff to numb yourself. I mean, there's certain stuff within your chemical balance that, they probably could figure out a better, system for you. I don't take anything personally, and when I went into rehab, I refused any kind of the stuff that they give you there to kind of wean you off and all that stuff. But
bro, they won't though. That's my problem because
you probably would need some kind of program to put little medications together to just keep you stable. And
you know what's crazy? KC has such discipline with his eating and with his gym and with all that.
But it doesn't matter.
And then you would even think, with all that vanity and working out and stuff, he would lay off the sauce.
No, I'll go to the gym hammered.
Wow.
It doesn't matter. But here's the problem, David. You probably know what I'm talking about. What they're going to do every time I go to the rehab, I've been there a bunch of times, and I usually end up telling them to go fuck themselves because what they say is you have to go cold turkey. They don't wean you off. They have nothing to give you. So there's no way out.
Oh, dude, you could do it. You're a strong young guy. You could get off it.
Howard, I can't explain to you.
All right, so it's uncomfortable. You just do it.
It's not uncomfortable. It's dementia. What happens is you think that you're gonna die and that nobody can.
But how long does that last? A couple of days?
No, it lasts until you start taking the shit again.
Oh.
It depends on the rehab you're going to. That's why I think Dr. Drew's got a solid group of doctors and things going on. They know how to address that if you have any mental issues that you need sort of mood stabilizing stuff. But some of the other stuff that you're probably overdoing is probably making you
Did I just hear a clown horn?
I was going to say, that's perfect, David, while you're giving advice.
Well, David, that's David's technique. He entertains you.
I've seen him, and it looks like he knows what he's talking about. But
He
I always
knows.
thought that even if I went to him, they would say, "Look, you stop this cold turkey. This is what it says in the book," because they have no idea what the fuck to do with it because it's so new. They have no idea what this shit does to you.
Yeah. All right. Look, we're not going to get this solved now. Casey, get yourself to fucking rehab. Go to Dr. Drew or somebody.
Yeah, don't go back to L.A.
Yeah.
Go to rehab.
Just start getting honest with yourself, and then try to get in just move in a better place.
Well, I'll tell you what. You know what? The only thing that this has given me is make me become an amazing actor.
Nice.
All right. Listen, Casey, I got to go. Hey, David, I got to go. I got to go do the news.
Guys.
All right, later.
We will be watching you tonight on Dancing with the Stars.
Thank you. All the best, Casey.
Am I going to see you tomorrow or something?
I'm coming in next week. So
Next week, okay.
I'm coming into town. So.
All right, good. I'll see you next week, David. Casey, take care of yourself, will you, pal? Really, get off that shit. You got the discipline to do it. It's enough.
I'm going to L.A. and
it's unattractive.
I'm going to pose nude, and my mom is coming, and she's going to put her hand over my private parts, like Amy.
All right. Listen, go get some help. I mean it. Stop the nonsense. You can get off that shit. You know, you're going to get big tits like me if you don't calm down.
No, just nipples. Your chest
All right.
is good. It's the nipples.
All right, Case. Thank you.
Did I mention Benji's Cockstrong?
And thanks to David Arquette for calling in and trying to help Casey. Goodbye.
Guys,
bye. Very depressing.
God damn it.
What, Casey?
That was...
It was bad?
What?
Hello? Oh, he's gone.
Now he's going to beat himself up for a bad appearance.
It was a great appearance, but I'm worried about the guy. I like him. Yeah, Ralphie, go ahead.
Hey now.
Hey now.
That really was the most bizarre call from Casey. You're talking about a bit you did 2 years ago.
I know.
Current. But, I just think it's funny when you guys always talk about Casey, you, Robin, and everybody. It's like, oh, my God, what a shame, what a shame. And it's just because he's good looking. I mean, if he wasn't good looking, nobody would really care.
Yeah, in a way, you're right.
You're absolutely right. If he was a mess, we'd expect this to happen.
Expect that. It's like, wow, he's good looking.
The weird thing with Casey is the guy works out so intensely, and not only that, he looks like a supermodel. And it's like, wow, how could a guy that disciplined and that into his look be into that drinking and everything?
You're thinking of Casey, when he used to work there. I don't think he,
He's been that guy.
Yeah, I think he's got some miles on him now.
Oh yeah, he's not looking that good.
Well, you said like when you saw him last time, he's bloated. He was
a little scary. Yeah.
Yeah, he's frightening.
I hope he pulls it together. Good looking or not. I mean, I did like the guy. The guy worked with me so many years. He's a good dude.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It doesn't seem he's been trying to pull it together for a while. I don't think that's going to happen.
And Ralph, can you defend my nipples? I don't think they're overly big.
No, that was kind of strange. No,
thank you.
Yeah,
I just had to start laughing in the middle because I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah, I know it was weird.
Hey, I want to talk about your bodies.
We weren't looking for any feedback. All right, thank you.
Benji is cockstrong.
What's that, Casey?
Benji is cockstrong.
Right.
Way to get that drop right away.
Right.
You have big nipples.
What do you think of Ralph, Casey?
He didn't say anything about Ralph.
Well, you could have just said he has big nipples.
Yeah, come on.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Actually, people have said that about me, so.
All right. Thank you, Ralph.
Goodbye.
Ralph actually does have big nipples.
He does?
You have big nipples.
You're right, Casey.
Robin, like Howard, you saw Casey go from, I guess, sort of like an intern
to an employee, yeah.
Right, and a full-time one at that.
Yeah.
How much does it bum you out when he checks in?
It makes me very sad because one of the reasons Casey is not with us is because his behavior had become so erratic. He couldn't work here anymore. And, we hoped that the fact that he couldn't be on the show would be a wake-up call and he'd pull himself together, and obviously that hasn't happened.
Seems safe to say that Casey spiraled out of control, not only since leaving the Stern Show, but it seems like the last couple of years. How do you decipher what's real and what's shtick and what's looking for a plug and all that?
I don't know. I mean, he wasn't really plugging anything today, and I thought he sounded pretty legitimate Casey's got a little sense of theater too, so sometimes he fucks with us. He could be a little messed up, but he likes to fuck with us too because he gets he understands the concept of the entertainment. But today he wasn't really plugging anything, and I was a little worried about him today, I have to say.
Equally as important, does Howard have oversized nipples?
I never looked at Howard's nipples, and I'm never going to look at him again. I'll go home and look at my private parts poster and see what I can ascertain. Richard comes to me and tells me, "Oh, did you get snow on Saturday?" I'm like, "Yeah." So him and Kristen went up way upstate New York to go get their makeup done for a party they were doing in the city. Like, they literally traveled far. They get up there, they get dropped over the train. It's snowing like crazy, right? No trains are coming. So they're calling this, they're calling that. So he's the idiot that calls 911. I said, "Why didn't you call the local I go, "What town were you in?" He goes, "Mayapack." I go, "Why didn't you call the Mayapack police?" He goes, "I don't know. We don't."
They called 911. You're lucky they didn't get arrested.
No.
Why did they call 911? I don't
Because
understand.
they were at the train station. It was snowing really hard, and no trains were coming. They called every cab company. They called the MTA. Unbeknownst to them, MTA had been shut down. They didn't know that.
1 minute.
So they were stuck, and they couldn't get home. So I said to him, "Why didn't you call the local police?" And he goes, "I didn't think of that." So I don't know what happened when he called 911, but the other funny thing is, this is so they could do this. That's the funniest part. That's so they traveled like an hour upstate to do that, to come back into the city to go to a party or something. He said they stayed in Sleepy Hollow.
Well, your point is, these are the idiots who
Exactly.
stay on the beach in a hurricane. Like, you see it snowing.
Well, no, he got up there, and then it started to snow. I'm not saying that. I'm saying,
But he
the
knew
snow
the
came in-
bad weather was coming.
No, but what I am saying is, 911 is for emergencies, not because the train.
Not because you
didn't
went
come.
trick-or-treating.
Not because the train didn't come.
Trying to get your werewolf man.
Excuse me now, I can't get a lift to the Halloween party.
I need my makeup.
Robin, anything else in the news?
Halloween is tonight, and it's a fun holiday for kids, but parents need to remember a few tips to keep their kids safe. Janet Brooks with Safe Kids Utah urges safety on the streets, asking drivers to be especially mindful of trick-or-treaters crossing the road.
I can't believe anybody lets their kids trick-or-treat anymore. It's so fucking dangerous.
Yeah, do those masks still work so poorly that you really can't see anything when
You can't
you're
see a
out
thing.
there in
You
your
have no peripheral
costume?
vision. It's awful.
Really, you are sort of like a sitting duck on the road.
Yeah.
Other tips for parents to follow are to make sure costumes are flame resistant, fit properly to prevent tripping, and to use reflective tape on both the outfits and treat bags so kids can be seen. Parents should also check over all treats for any signs of tampering before letting their kids eat them.
A flame-resistant costume. Most people don't go to the store and buy, they just like dress up in like some clothes, and then you go to some asshole's house, you got a bunch of pumpkins with candles in them, and your kid's on fire. Stay home. There's a million things that are going to go wrong. It's inevitable.
I think a lot of people have gone to parties because you can't trust
Right.
to have your kids out there on the road.
I like flame-resistant costume. Make sure your child's in a flame-resistant. I'll put him in an asbestos outfit. I mean, what are you doing already with this Halloween? It's enough.
I know. When you've got to take all those precautions, isn't it a sign that maybe we shouldn't be doing this?
And Richard's so fucking retarded that, I went into his office to take some photographs of him the other day, and he's got pumpkin candles burning and pumpkin shit hanging up in the office.
Right, he's the very one who's going to light a kid on fire.
Yeah. Less pumpkins and more work back there.
By the way, he said he was going to get a pumpkin scrub this weekend. You know, he even does the whole spa thing.
That's nothing. He
with pumpkins.
So Richard, I guess, goes to a party every year, so he gets professional makeup done. But of course, he lives in New York, and there's no one who can do his professional makeup. He has to go to fucking Poughkeepsie or something. I don't know, or somewhere upstate New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so it was snowing. You know, they were calling for snow on Saturday.
Right.
So him and his wife get on the train, and they go all the way upstate to get that stupid makeup that they get.
Uh-huh.
And then he gets caught. None of the trains are running because it's snowing so bad.
So he's stuck.
He's stuck. He called 911.
Stop it.
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding. He called 911 for a ride or something, or he didn't know what to do.
Oh, my goodness. He's as bad as that guy I just played.
Yeah, but he's like those retards who go, like people who stay in Miami Beach on the ocean, and they say you have to evacuate, and then they stay, and then you have to go rescue them. He knows it's going to snow.
There's no reason to rescue him from Poughkeepsie. Find a hotel room.
Of course. Richard, where did you go to get your makeup? Like, this is, by the way, he's 40-something years old. This was what all the fuss was about, so he could look like this.
That isn't even that good.
I mean, the makeup's not even that great. I mean, it's fine.
It's okay, but who cares? You could get that done. You could do it yourself.
Hey, that's the most important. It's the most important day of the year for me.
Where did you go to get the makeup?
Mayo Pack. It's like in Westchester.
And you what? The snow came down so heavily you couldn't get a train.
Yeah,
you called 911.
Well, we got dropped off at the train station in full makeup. We looked crazy.
Yeah,
and. We waited for about 2 hours for the Metro North, and then there was a big announcement, all train service suspended. And we thought it was going to be like the Donner Party, like we were going to have to start eating each other because we didn't know how to get out of there.
Dude, you're in Mayo Pack. It's not like
there are
some
cabs.
remote...
There are all kinds of things.
We called every cab.
It was snowing too heavy.
Yeah, it was snow. They wouldn't even go, leave to give us a ride to a hotel.
So what did 911 do?
They were going to send an MTA truck to pick us up.
And what happened?
Well, we finally got a hold of the makeup guy, and luckily his brother, thank God, had a four-wheel drive truck and was able to give us a ride to White Plains to catch the only train.
Believe this guy? For this stupid makeup.
How much do you pay for that?
And who are you supposed to be with that makeup? Who
the
is
Wolfman.
That? Oh, that's Wolfman?
Yeah.
Is that who you are?
And who's your wife, Little Red Riding Hood?
Yeah, she's like the victim, Little Red Riding Hood, after she was attacked.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Glad you told me.
It took us 6 hours to get from there back to our home. We were exhausted.
How long does the makeup take?
A couple hours to do.
And what do you do with the makeup?
Now you're all dressed up. Where do you go?
Yeah.
Well, we went to a costume party, but we were so exhausted from our ordeal that we only stayed for a little bit.
That's what I figured.
After all that, we were just too burned out.
Halloween got ruined.
There's nobody in New York who does makeup.
It's hard. It's hard to
Robin.
find people.
No, in Manhattan, no one does that.
Not this good. This is my buddy. He does this for movies.
Dude, Manhattan has got the greatest makeup artist in the world. I got to believe someone in Manhattan can do that.
Well, this guy today, he's doing Good Morning America's makeup.
Oh, yeah?
He's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, but I bet you they didn't go to see him in Mayo Pack.
What do you pay him for that?
I gave him $140.
That's it?
Oh my
That's the cash I had on me, but I'm going to send him some more.
Oh.
Yeah. I got to send him the werewolf hands back, too. He loaned those to me.
Real good.
Yeah. He's awesome, though. He did a vampire movie called Stakeland that you guys should see. It's
I'll run
awesome.
that out. Okay.
Richard.
Yes?
Come on, man. You don't think you overreacted a little bit?
Well, we were worried. It was just us and 3 Mexican migrant workers at the station, and they didn't even speak English, so we didn't know what to do. We couldn't go anywhere.
Did you give them a ride to White Plains as well?
No.
Real
we
nice
didn't, because my friend came in a truck, and it's it'd be too dangerous for them to ride in the back of the truck, so I think
You don't think a couple of migrant workers...
They were on the
been in
phone
back of
with
the truck
friends of
before?
theirs speaking Spanish, so I'm assuming they got a ride.
But really, you know that 911 is for actual emergencies. This doesn't constitute an emergency.
Well, we tried to call Metro North, and the line, nobody would answer. And somebody told us before they left the station, they said call 911. The cab company said call 911, and they'll send MTA out to get you guys. So we would have called MTA directly, but they wouldn't answer. So
All in the name of Halloween. So now that it's all over with, Halloween is today. Do you feel like you just missed out on a golden opportunity? You had this great makeup, you had a costume party to go to, but you were too burnt out by the time you...
Well, we still got to go at least. We could have been, had our own little 2-person costume party at the train station that night and froze to death. So I'm glad we at least made the costume party.
But as far as your Halloween dreams go, I feel that they were sort of shattered.
Yeah, Mother Nature can be a real bitch sometimes, and I'm very angry that she fucked up Halloween a little bit. And
fuck that. You almost got worried about this.
Mother Nature, that bitch.
She is. She's a fickle bitch.
She could have had it snow on November 1st, and it would have been totally fine, but to do it before Halloween is unforgivable.
Kind of like waking up on Christmas morning and realizing you didn't get the toy you wanted.
Yeah, or this fucking Mother Nature, she always pisses me off. Last year, she fucked me over too, because she made a blizzard the day after Christmas. Not on Christmas. We couldn't have a white Christmas. She had it the day after. That's like saying to me, fuck you and your white Christmas. I'm going to make it White on December 26th.
What a biznatch.
She is a total... I love global warming. Fuck her. Fuck Mother Nature.
Great cans.
I'm going to go use a bunch of hairspray right now just to piss her off.
Hell of a body, though.
Yeah. I'm going to throw all my plastic in the garbage, not recycle. Fuck Al Gore. Fuck Mother Nature. Halloween rules.
How about throwing some of them soda rings into the ocean, too?
Exactly.
Catch a couple fish.
Get some dolphins' noses bound up by those fucking goddamn soda
I'm
rings.
going to start eating tuna that isn't dolphin friendly.
Fuck yeah, I'm going to burn some rubber tires out in my yard, you know. Fuck Mother Nature, that bitch.
I'll learn that, broad.
I'll teach you, bitch.
I'll learn her well. I mean, good.
Teach you not to make it snow on my favorite fucking holiday, you fucking biatch.
You said it, sir. I think we all learned something from your ordeal today.
I think we learned that I'm an idiot.
And I am as well. Happy Halloween, sir.
Happy Halloween.
Jackie the Joke Man Martling was on Superfan Roundtable. Wow. I heard his interview. Mutt did a great interview with Jackie, and Jackie was just, again, talking about his contract negotiation and why he isn't with the show. And
This is hysterical.
I mean, look, they were asking him about it.
Yeah, but I mean...
But it's all it's so misguided.
Why would you even continue to talk about it?
See, if I play it, you're going to get all worked up, as I did when I heard it, but because you're going to start arguing with a piece of tape.
Well, work me up.
All right.
I love Jackie Logic.
All right, but okay. I'll stop it when I need to correct something.
All right.
Or at least give my interpretation. You want to get worked up?
I know it's going to happen. I always think that I'm over it, but he'll get to me, I'm sure.
But you know what the funny thing is? We are over it. I don't spend any time in the day going,
Ever
"Gee, I wish
thinking about it,
Jackie was back here," but you know what? It actually made me sad when I heard this because he's his own worst enemy. Because he still, to this day, doesn't understand what he did.
Thank God.
To his own career.
And thank God we don't take him back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because this would go on again.
It would. Robin, it's been 10 or 15 years. He hasn't learned a thing. It's so clear to me.
That's the beauty of Jackie.
He hasn't. I don't know if he's in therapy. I don't know what he does, but he has not figured it out. And that's my point. People don't change.
Well, some people do, but not Jackie.
Okay, fair enough. Here we go.
Well, Howard would say that you just didn't show up one day and left him hanging, and then you didn't have you.
By the way, just so Mutt knows, I would never say that.
There for months.
But every time that I was out negotiating.
That
out negotiating.
You know, I said to Gary when I heard this, I called him up. I said, how is it that me, Robin, Fred, you, how is it we managed?
We all had to negotiate.
We all had to negotiate, whether it was with Mel directly or, through Don
or Tom, or whatever.
But how is it we all ended up never missing a day of work, even with our negotiations, quote unquote? Jackie always had to leave.
Yeah.
Sometimes for weeks. And to me, it always felt like,
hey, I can walk away. You guys carry on. And when I'm done negotiating, just how did we all manage to get a contract without walking out the door?
But by the same token, it wasn't that he left us hanging.
Yeah.
It was that we didn't know he wasn't showing up.
Mutt said we get all worked up again when we heard this. He knows. He listens.
They did the same thing. And I've said this on the air so
did?
many millions of times,
Well,
but
listen.
nobody wants to hear it. I didn't do that. I would never have done that. For all anybody can break my balls, I'm a professional guy. We were trying to negotiate. Then my lawyer didn't hear back from Tom for 2 months. So we had a meeting with Tom, and we went in, and my lawyer said, listen.
First of all, they didn't hear back from Tom for 2 months because I was very aware of what was going on. He said, Jackie and your lawyer, this is the final offer. And it was a very, very healthy offer. More than I think most guys in radio would drop dead if they saw this offer. And they said, Jackie, this is it. Either you take it or leave it. We can't keep going on, or we have to move forward and find somebody new.
Now, I don't understand.
Now-
Is he still working or is he not working?
He's not working.
Okay.
He's negotiating. So they told him that, and Jackie and his lawyer kind of laughed it off like, ha, 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 sure.
Okay, and did
2
they
months
make
later,
some counteroffer?
No. 2 months later, 2 months later, it was over. In other words, Jackie was like, okay, I'll come back. And it was like, no, you don't understand.
Oh,
we
he
meant
took
it.
2 months to think about it.
Yeah, 2 months.
We're totally at loggerheads. You guys aren't coming back at us. We're not going back. So this was on a Wednesday. So Jackie's not going to come in on Monday. And Tom said, I think you're making a mistake. And Larry said, I think you're making a mistake.
Yep, who was
He said,
right?
all right, but he's not going to be there Monday. And I said, Tom.
Where's Larry now?
Now you make sure you tell Howard, make sure everybody knows.
But Howard says you didn't call him.
No, by the way, if I did say that, I don't care about
No.
Jackie calling me.
This is all getting confused.
Yeah.
Jackie did this every year for a number of years and never told us he was not coming in.
Right.
This last time, maybe he had a lawyer who called.
Right.
That's what he's upset about.
By the way, I'm not upset about it. I'm not upset about any of this. Jackie leaving has been absolutely fine. I'm much happier now. I couldn't take the constant problems and the constant out back in the back office getting everyone charged up.
And
It's
all
fine.
of a sudden, he's professional.
Right. Oh, he's the most professional.
You missed that one phone call.
What?
You told Tom, but you didn't tell Howard.
This is they got you coming and they got you going. Howard he said over and over and over, I want nothing to do with negotiations.
That's
I
true.
don't want to know money. I don't want to know negotiations. It's all up to everybody to do their own deal. Leave me out of it.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, I should call him and say, hey, not for like.
Meanwhile, every deal he did, he called me, and I had to step in and carry on. And he always tried to get me to agent for him. He's full of shit.
Would it be
as much as I wanted not to be involved with Jackie? you
He
had
always
to.
involved you.
He sucked me in every time.
not a threatening phone call or a heads up? Tom said, yeah, Tom,
Jackie won't admit one thing. He left the show thinking Howard's going to fucking crumble without me. I
Right,
said to
and
him,
he was waiting for 2 months for you to call
And
and
beg
ask
him.
him to come back.
Right. And it was never going to happen. Jackie was an asset to the show. I had assessed the
Well,
situation.
he was an acid to the show?
An asset.
Asshole to the show?
No, he was an asset to the show, but at some point it became detrimental to the show. And that's it. He over-evaluated. He overvalued himself. That's all. He was valuable, but not irreplaceable. That's the problem with Jackie.
Howard will absolutely know you're not going to be there. And then, they said that all of a sudden Howard says, "Where's Jackie today?" And Robin said, "Oh, he left you high and dry again." Yeah, you know how he is. They made it sound like I just didn't show up, and I would never do that much, and I didn't do it the time before, and I didn't do it the time, and there's still millions of fans that are angry at me for leaving Howard high and dry, which I didn't do. And
okay.
Of
That's
course
the
I
way
thought about
they tell it. When even just recently, about a year ago, Robin and
but how do you
Fred,
see it?
Robin and Fred get real emotional about it. Like, you fucked over the show. You left the show. You guys were a team. They take it personally. It seems like.
But how can they? I asked for more money and they said no.
I don't take it
if you're
personally.
working at a business and you ask for a raise and they say no and you stop working there, it's not because you don't.
Explain that.
I don't take it personally.
Nobody does. It's just amazing to us that he's the only one that could leave for months at a time with
And
his
then come
negotiations.
back. Why come back?
Right. We were resentful that we had to sit there and hold ship. You know, don't forget, I have a way of operating. The budget that Jackie took up, I mean, I needed to spend it on someone else. At some point, I had to say, enough with this guy. You know?
But remember the time he didn't show up, and then we were starting to get used to not work, and then all of a sudden he did show up?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like, well, what are you doing here now?
Yeah, now he's here.
You want us now?
I was never ungrateful. I didn't ask for more. You know the whole story.
Sure.
You know, I didn't ask for a crazy amount of money. And then after a couple months, I said, you know what? I don't want this to break up. I'll take what the offer was. And they said, and it was too late.
2 months later, and 2 months of like him finally realizing he wasn't getting more money. I mean, he got a huge offer, huge raise offer, which he doesn't think is huge, but go ask any guy on radio. By the way, has Jackie made anywhere near that kind of money since he left? No. I don't even. I would love to compare his last year with us, and all the years subsequent to that, or whatever, all the years after that.
Subsequent would be.
Was that right? Yeah. Didn't sound right to me. Anyway, so I don't know. You want to hear more?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me go through the whole thing.
All right. Here we go.
And that's my fault, but that was only 2 months after I left. So you know,
only 2 months.
Yeah, only 2 months.
What's 2 months?
He could have very easily, and now I'll get in trouble for this, but kept the Beatles together, you know. But
the Beatles are together, dude.
Do at the time I was beat and I was tired, and I feel bad that I wound up off the show, but it was like, I rolled the dice. What the fuck? I rolled the dice, but all I did was ask for more money. They said no, and I left. That is not a crime.
No one thinks it is.
The coming back was the crime.
Yeah. Leave us alone. Stop using us. Go write for someone else if you can.
Right.
You talk about hurt. When I called Howard and Tom, and my lawyer called Tom.
His lawyer. That lawyer was the greatest. Lawyer was like, we're going to teach Mel Karmazin how to negotiate. And he was like, what? What are you doing?
Are they still teaching him, or is the lesson finished?
So which Beatle exactly was Jackie supposed to be? Because to me, he's feeling like Pete Best right now.
Yeah.
You know? I think he thought he was...
or the guy who died.
Yeah, I think he thought he was Paul McCartney.
2 months when I had been off, and said, listen, we'll take the offer that's on the table. I said, all right, we'll consider it.
Maybe he should have looked at it not as the Beatles, where everyone was sort of equal. Maybe he should have looked at it more like...
well, he was like...
Saturday Night Live, where a bunch of people write.
What was one of those guys who joined the Rolling Stone and then would leave the Rolling Stones?
Yeah.
Because the Rolling Stones were the Rolling Stones, and then every once in a while they'd hire some guy.
Right. Yeah, like when you're saying when Brian Jones died in the pool.
Yeah.
They brought in a different guy.
Yeah, Mick Taylor.
Yeah, Mick Taylor. And then Mick Taylor left, and
they brought in Ron Wood.
Right.
Get back to you. I really thought they'd at least call back and say, thanks, but no thanks. And
how many? They called 900 times. It was over.
No, they had a period of negotiation. The period ended. Jackie left, and that was that.
Yeah, how long can it go on? How long can you negotiate? What is this? What is he, a labor union?
They never called
You're
back.
waiting for the call still?
Which is kind of rude. You know, I mean, maybe I didn't deserve it, but, who knows?
Oh, my. There were 20 million calls exchanged, and then finally it was just, all right.
That you didn't listen when they said, this is it. It's not their fault.
It's real simple. Tom came to me and said, I've told Jackie that's it. He goes, do you agree? I go, absolutely. He told me the offer. I said, it sounds fantastic. It sounds like you're being very generous. You're certainly not cheaping out on the guy. I think he thinks he's me. And, I'm the star of the show. He's a writer on the show. And that's it. And Tom said to me, this is the final offer. We're not prepared to offer him anymore. If you want to pay him, go ahead. I go, no, this is more than enough. He's making a ton of dough. And that's it. We can't negotiate. We're going to go start looking for someone else.
And nobody wanted to go through this again.
No, that was the point. But he doesn't get it. He still thinks no one called him back. They told him final offer, but he was used to like, Oh, they've said that before.
Right.
You know.
When I first started the show, Howard said, "Hey, I got great news for you, Don."
Oh, this is great.
Oh, boy. Here we go. What is he going to say now?
This is totally
a new
wrong.
wrinkle.
This is Jackie talking about how we are all represented by Don Buchwald, but he wasn't.
Truck to tail.
Right. I'll give you the truth about what really went down, but here's Jackie's version. Hey, Gary.
I want to back you up on this one because this one made me really.
Yeah, this is crazy.
This got you upset.
Yeah, this got me nuts.
And it's got nothing to do with me. I just happened to be there for a conversation Howard had.
When I first started the show, Howard said, "Hey, I got great news for you. Don's going to represent you if you want him."
I never said to him, "I've got great news for you." Here's the truth. Then you can listen to this. Jackie was being represented by his wife. Things were going horribly. Mel wanted nothing to do with Jackie. He said to me, "I don't want anything to do with this guy and his wife."
He was supposed to talk to his wife?
That's how bad things were.
Uh-huh. And he was talking to his wife.
I don't know who he was talking to,
my God.
but I don't know. Things were just going wrong, and the company was getting rubbed the wrong way by Jackie.
Uh-huh.
Even when people want more money, I guess there's a certain way of doing things. I suggested to Jackie maybe not use his wife as an agent. And he said, "No, my wife's not my agent, my manager." I said, "Look, you got to get somebody. If you would like, I'll call Don Buchwald. If you'd like that." I never said, "Hey, good news."
Right.
No, I didn't care who represented Jackie, as long as he got somebody
who wouldn't screw up things for him.
who wouldn't make management go, "We want this guy out." Like they were like, "Listen."
Because there was a general attitude from that negotiation on.
They didn't
that
like
nobody
Jackie.
wanted Jackie around.
Yeah, and I'm not even blaming his wife, Nancy, because you know what? Now that I
She's
think
not
about
a
it,
manager.
no. By the way, I don't think she was talking to Mel.
She wasn't. She wasn't.
She wasn't. What was happening was, if I remember correctly, and I forget how it happened, but maybe Jackie and Mel were dealing directly with each other.
Uh-huh.
But Mel was kind of like, and Tom and everyone, not just Mel, everyone just came to me privately and said, "Look, we don't like this guy.
Right.
We think he's bad news." I said, "He's a nice guy." They go, "For whatever reason, he's coming off horribly, just as a human being." I said, "Okay." So I went to Jackie and said, "Maybe it shouldn't be you doing things.
Right.
Maybe you should get somebody." I said, "If you want, I'll call Don Buchwald." I need to. Good news, Jackie. By the way, Don was not looking to represent Jackie. Don's business is done just fine without Jackie. There's not a whole lot of money in the Jackie business for Don.
There really is, by the way, in any negotiation, when the person goes in to represent themselves, it just
Right.
never works because you need somebody to be a buffer.
Right.
Because you can't say, well, when you say, listen, this is what I'm worth, people look at you a different way. So you just suggested to Jackie, in general, maybe it's not the best idea you represent yourself.
That's what it was. It wasn't his wife.
Well, she was representing him in the comedy circuit. That was a whole other-
which was fine. And I didn't care, but I just said to him, maybe you need to get advice from a professional.
But I know you said, get anybody if you'd like, because I was there. If you'd like, I would introduce you,
You were
to
there
Don.
in the room.
And
yeah, introduce is not, I can get Don to represent you.
No, but Jackie's saying that Howard said, good news, Don's going to represent you, as if you were pushing it.
Yeah.
And Jackie always had this
Conspiracy theory.
theory
listen.
of collusion.
Here you go. Listen to this.
And I said no because it didn't make sense to me that if they're going to pay Howard and then they're going to pay Robin and they're going to pay Fred, so I'm going to be the fourth bird in line for a worm. It seems like how could you know?
Yeah, but see, now,
it didn't seem.
I look at you
comfortable.
the way you did it. I look at you as fourth bird in the line. Whereas if you'd have been with Team Don, it would have been Howard and then the three of you. Like I always wondered why you weren't just part of that, so you didn't have to do your own negotiating. Were you worried he wouldn't take care of you the way you could yourself?
It just didn't. It seemed weird. You know, he'd be negotiating with himself. You know, Don, it just didn't. You know, my cousin.
How would Don be negotiating by?
You know what I love?
I know why.
The first
I know.
statement, wait a minute. The first statement is, I didn't think.
Yeah.
Now, all of his thoughts have
Right.
led to this.
Yeah. All of his thoughts led to ultimately him being out of work.
And he's still standing by them.
Yeah, he loves it. He doesn't do any self-examination.
I know the answer, by the
Almost
way.
a pro ball player, and he said that an agent in baseball can't represent more than one agent, or more than one player on a team.
Have you ever heard of that before? That's bullshit.
No.
There are agents who represent many.
There's some agents who have almost the entire league locked up.
Scott Boras has everybody.
Baseball, an agent can't represent more than. Well, first of all, this isn't baseball. Baseball is like a monopoly. This is the real world.
Jackie's taking advice from a guy who almost got into baseball.
Yeah, right. My cousin. Did you hear what he said?
It was his cousin who told him this?
Wait, you got to hear this. My cousin. He's always getting advice from
Almost got in.
My cousin almost got into baseball.
He's like.
He said. Yeah, wait,
He's
get
like
back to-
Richard's
You
dad.
can't say, hey, you
Right.
can have mud on shortstop.
Right.
More than one agent also pro. Don, but, it just didn't. My cousin was almost a pro ball player, and he
Almost.
Never got there.
Look where he gets advice.
But he knows.
He gets advice from his cousin, from his uncle, never from a professional.
Yeah, none of these people have been in
Right.
show business.
And by the way, his cousin's wrong. Maybe that's why he almost got into baseball.
said.